Welcome, everybody. It is your boy Danks, the American original only Dankster, and I have the great privilege of having Awaken with JP SEARS, and the great Jesse on Fire. It's a pleasure to speak with some of the most incredible minds, funny minds, and just American minds. And that's why I am here to bring three American voices together and some of the most prominent thinkers in this space. So I am super privileged to have you. Thank you, JP. Thank you, Jesse. And I look forward to hearing what you have to say. And this is more of a laid back, chill conversation, but definitely important topics that need to be breached. But first, in case anyone doesn't know who any of you are, or me, and since we're all streaming on three of our channels here, would you like to start? Maybe JP, explain a little bit about yourself, who you are, why you're here, and then we can go to Jesse.
Heck yeah, man. Well, hello to my audience, and hello to Danks, your audience, and Jesse's audience. It's either good to meet you or good to see you again. I'm a comedian and I'm a free thinker. Those are the two things I get paid to do, and I tend to do them both at once. And man, I'm just happy to be here having a conversation with two other dudes who are out thinking for themselves, not falling for the propaganda and the corruption that's going on in the world with some big things that we'll get into tonight. Israel's stranglehold over Trump, the Iran war, Epstein files, Charlie Kirk case. I mean, we're just being spoon-fed absolute propaganda, and I thank the Biden administration for teaching us how to recognize propaganda, because we're seeing it again. So I'm most passionate about empowering people to just think for themselves. I don't want to brainwash anybody to see things my way. I want people to see things their way, and we just need to use our God-given brains to do our own critical thinking. So I'm here happy to have, hear y'all's perspectives, share mine, learn something, think more critically about my own thoughts and beliefs, and hopefully emerge a little bit closer to the thing we all seek, which is truth.
Man, I love it. Great insight for sure. And Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse Merle. The channel's Jesse on Fire. I've been doing this for, I think maybe started almost exactly 6 years ago. About half of the time I was just doing like UFC combat sports, and then I kind of branched into other things. And I mean, listen, I'm terrible at 90% of things that humans are expected to do as grown-ups. I just happen to be really good at talking on a microphone into a camera for some reason. And so I try to do that as much as possible. And in terms of my approach, I would say I'm in the mood to throw some, I don't know. I feel like throwing a little rocks at a couple people today. So I want to use them as the example of what I don't do. Like, I generally speaking try to approach every conversation from the standpoint of assuming that there are people who are watching in large numbers who don't agree with many of the other viewers who are also watching. And I would like to present my thoughts in a way that's not going to turn anyone who's watching into an automatic adversary, because I think that the system is intentionally set up that way. That is like the whole entire point of how they set this up. And I've got love for everybody. The only people that I find myself having consistent disdain for are the people who are the absolute 100% exacerbators of that system, where they're on one side or the other, and you already know their opinion on literally every single topic. It's just going to be whichever way lets them paint anyone who's on the other side as an evil, bad person with ill intentions. They misframe all of their arguments. I just try to avoid that. But when it's necessary, I like to chop those guys' heads off with my words. Like Kyle Kalinske, I will eat his liver tonight if we start talking about him again, dude. I can't fucking stand that guy. And that's it. That's it. I'm glad to be here with you guys.
Yeah, and you definitely have a severe disdain for Kyle Kalinske. Yeah. And I also I was listening to some before the show about the Rogan Ibogaine stuff, and we'll get into that. But yeah, man, it's great to have you guys. Like I said, I think that and if you don't know me, I'm Danks. I run Dankster Intel on X, YouTube, trying to get into the Instagram and Rumble stuff. But yeah, I basically search for truth. I live in deep research. I'm an AI developer, so I use a lot of my own tools, expand upon them to get the information out of the world that I want, completely uncensored. So I don't really abide by the same rules with AI as everybody else. I like to use them for my own purposes without restriction. So that's kind of how I've developed my channel over time, looking into finances for nonprofits, one being 2PUSA, a big one. And then also, as that grew, I looked into nonprofits in the federal government and foreign agents that are registered with media apparatuses that are disseminating information on behalf of a foreign government. There's so much that I've uncovered in such a short amount of time, and hopefully we'll get into some of those. But yeah, it's a little bit.
Thanks. Real quick, I gotta toot your horn, brother. If y'all aren't following Danks, do that probably right about now. Dankster Intel on Twitter. Man, Danks, I probably found your stuff maybe a month ago, 4 to 6 weeks ago, and it just blew me away. I've been following it, and the biggest thing that blew my mind is he's just doing this research, not coming up with opinions, but finding facts that you don't know. We all know some of the people that Jesse was just complaining about, where you know what they think, what they think before they even talk, because they're just somehow 100% in agreement with Trump about everything. Well, some fascinating research Danks has published is so many of those top podcasters, like the Charlie Kirk Show, which no longer includes Charlie Kirk, Brandon Tatum, Dinesh D'Souza, who was just yesterday saying we need to move past the Epstein files. You find out they are broadcast, under Salem Media, and their chief strategy officer is a federally registered foreign agent of Israel. And you find out their funding. So and their instructions is integrate Israel messaging into your product, i.e., the talent of your shows. So you just it makes sense. They're completely predictable. You can't criticize Charlie, or you can't criticize Erica Kirk. You have to be for the Iran war, move past the Epstein files. Israel is better than God. These people all saying the same thing. You find out they're working for a federally registered foreign agent of Israel. So I got fired up seeing Danks's work. It is so valuable. It's shining light on what I think is a lot of darkness. So I'll get off my soapbox. Thank you for letting me interject. But Danks, I love your work, brother. Thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thanks, man. That is wow. That means a lot coming from you, coming from anyone. Honestly, I'm glad that it reached you, and I'm glad that it landed, because one thing I notice is that it feels like it kind of came and went, but it's still there. This isn't one of those things that it's not like a fly-by-night news article, right? This is something that can actually stick and make a difference if people understood what it actually meant. I was talking with Sam Parker last night. We were actually discussing why this isn't consistently being hammered by big media. But the thing is, it's because they are actually on the payroll, and it's like they have no interest in actually divulging that. But also the independent podcasters, the people that maybe would have received the information, it's kind of boring in a way, but it's super important. And hopefully, at least it's in the toolbox for a lot of people to pull out, and also it's still being found out about. So, I appreciate that. It is important work. I'm just getting started. There's lots of other things, but definitely when you find out that the president of the United States family has ownership stake in a company that is operated with their chief strategy officer as a registered foreign agent for the government of Israel, which is the government that put us in allegedly, or in my opinion, or whatever, or in Marco Rubio's words, that put us in the war with Israel, it was their reasoning. It was us preeminently doing it because we knew they were going to do it. And there's so many other things, obviously, but yeah, man, it's, Jesse, when he found out he said the war really is what did it for him. What about that topic? And I do want to kind of move into the war. So this is a great segue. Jesse, what about that Salem media stuff triggered you? And you told me it was because of the war specifically.
Well, it had, I mean, so the war is what did it for, that was like that's a headshot for me, where it was like, okay, now there's no coming back. It was, cause it's like, if you spend the amount of time and effort, supporting a candidate like Trump was, if you were looking at the world the way that anybody with a brain was after the pandemic, it was like, this is the other side of this tyrannical nightmare that is just waiting to just stomp on our necks. And the only reason that they're not doing it now is because they think they can't and also win this election. And so it's like, he's our last hope. And so with, when he got into office, he's doing things that he said he would do, but then just slowly but surely you start going, all right, this is starting to look a little shaky. And even through all of the Epstein file stuff, I was able to kind of navigate that mentally, kind of like, like there is an explanation why they would be behaving this way that isn't as bad as a lot of people are painting it. There's ways that, there's ways, but as soon as they started talking about attacking Iran, immediately I was like, what? Nope. Now that is a direct, absolute, in cement promise that the entire campaign made. Everybody, all the supporters understood crystal clear. We are not starting any foreign wars. If they do that, and they do it under the auspices of the Iran nuclear program, you're just going to recycle the WMD argument that all of us know is total horseshit. Like, when they attacked in June, I was like, okay, this is a red line for me. And when we attacked him again, I was like, oh, he's captured, man. It's over. That was like it's like walking in on your wife with another guy. Like, it's like, you can't tell yourself any stories anymore about why she's on her phone late at night. Like, you can't try to figure out why, when she goes out with her girls, she seems to come back drunk and like she's not answering her phone. It's like, there's nothing, like, this is over. Like, she's in bed with that guy. It's over. And so when you told that, and that kind of happened very, very close proximity to when you put out the Salem media stuff. And so it was less of a revelation than it was an explanation of specificity, a specific explanation of something I already knew. You know what I mean? It's like, clearly he's got, but that made perfect sense. And it also, I think, for people who don't understand a lot of this stuff in terms of how business is structured, that's pretty straightforward, man. It's like, this is how they capture wealthy people, right? They buy 30% of their company and they give them parts of their media company, and now they're business married. Like, they're business partners. They're making money together or they're losing money together. And I would guess that is probably just a very, very small tip of the iceberg of all of the ways that they have the Trump family compromised. As a matter of fact, I bet my life on that, actually.
Yeah. You raise a good point, JP. Do you feel, or do you want to give insight? Do you think the Trump family is compromised in any way, or Donald Trump himself? I mean, what explanation lends credence to the way he's been pretty much backpedaling on everything he told us? Or do you think this was a plan from the start?
No, I like everything that he's doing. I think he's sticking with his campaign promises. He's the greatest president we've ever seen. And sometimes you just need a war with Iran. Like, a new war is how you do peace. Just trying to do my best to pretend like I'm under Salem Media Network. And don't criticize Erica Kirk. Man, I just made a video about this today. It hasn't been published. And thanks, this is another video where I shared some of your work, which, by the way, thank you for reminding me. I forgot that the Trump family has ownership in Salem Media. His chief strategy officer is federally registered foreign agent of Israel. God.
Yeah, and they also own a stake in his company, in John Don Jr.'s company as well. So they're married,
So I like to, first, I will say, I don't know when Trump got compromised. I will just say I trust my five senses. I trust my brain. I don't fall for the Orwellian, the party's final command was to betray what you see and what you hear. It's like, no, I'm not that dumb. I'll trust the obviousness. So what's not questioned is Trump is compromised. When that happened, I like to think that during his campaign, he was being honest and straightforward. I like to think it's happened after he got in, and whether it's like, here's the Epstein stuff and you're in it like a lot in bad ways, or other ways Israel controls people, threats. At the very least, and this is being very charitable, him being captured through mind control. And mind control, I'm not like some weird device, though maybe, but mind control, just in the sense of any human being is vulnerable to brainwashing. We know about mass formation psychosis, and that just means more than one person, but it's very easy to influence a person's brain, especially if you know how to do it and you're trying to do it. So the circle of people that are around Trump, it's very possible they came in with this Zionist agenda, all the things for their own reasons, and they were able to persuade Trump, stroking his ego as they're doing it. So he wants more of it. Very charitably, at the very least, that could be how he got compromised. There's, of course, the straightforward literal money where he's received, I think, $240 million from AIPAC, the Israel lobby. What's her face? Marian Alderson is giving him
Adelson,
yeah, Anelson. She's she's all about Israel, and she's given him tens of millions of dollars. I believe Tucker Carlson just referenced $250 million. I don't know the exact figure. It's a lot of money. So there's certainly the prostitute archetype that could be activated and him be controlled through that as well. But Leslie, I'll just say what really started waking me up was when he was persecuting the Thomas Masseys, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, for wanting justice for the Epstein victims. Let's go after the criminals. And seeing the vile things he was saying about them, it's like, well, they are on the side of truth, like not arguable here. They're very common sense. And as he's, trying to sweep the Epstein files under the rug, it was a slow burn over a couple of weeks of him doing that. I'm just like, this isn't the guy. And then, of course, more and more stuff happens, certainly the war. And it's just like, man, I think the guy is gone. There's no question he has changed. Like all of us who voted for him, we didn't change. We hold the same principles, values, and ideals in mind. It's just the person who we thought was aligned with that, they changed the direction. So there's no question we didn't all just simultaneously change. He did. And honestly, it really pisses me off.
Me too.
I don't like it.
Danks, can you mind if I share my screen? Can you put that up?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this just got released, and I haven't seen it yet, but I have a feeling this is going to be really good. This is on
shout out Iran. They've got some funny people.
Yeah, they're killing it on the AI, dude. This is actually on a website or on a channel called Iran AI. I haven't seen it yet, but
United States of Israel. That's your resume. Killing children every day. While you look away, United States of Israel. Netanyahu's pet Trump is a pedophile. Don't you?
We might. It's gonna eat our stream up, dude. I might want to watch this in not live.
Yeah.
Like I never. That's like
you could. Yeah, I mean,
we'll just watch it later, dude. I don't know what's on it, which means they're talking about anytime that PDFs come up, instantaneously I have problems on my channel every single time. Yeah. Which is very unfortunate because I really like talking about that topic and exposing,
Yeah. Apparently you're not supposed to call them out on YouTube. So we're protecting them, protect the predators. Anyway, I am not a fan of Iran. I know the kind of the whatever the people that treat Trump as God. They'll say if you criticize Israel, then whatever, you love Iran. It's like, no, I think it's a really crappy regime in charge. But calling balls and strikes, man, their humorous stuff they put out. I don't even know if it's funny, but it's just like that, like they're true. It's just kind of like we know, like North Korea is heavily controlled by propaganda. Their citizens see nothing that their dictator doesn't want them to see. So if we made a video just showing the truth of North Korea that's super obvious, got that in, that's what Iran's doing with a lot of that stuff. And again, I'm not like saying let's support Iran. I'm saying like they're piercing through the propaganda veil that the Trump administration is trying to hold up. And like nothing I've seen in any of their videos that I've watched is a surprise. It's like, yeah, that's what I think too.
It's if you can make people laugh, you always win, man. It's like the like I used to marvel at those creators that would give these guys these weird like pickup lines. They're like, go to the bar, and all these weird tactics. It's like, or just say something nice, ask her a question, listen to what she says, and then make her laugh. Then you're good, dude. That's it. That's the entire playbook, dude. You don't need any weird like tactics. Questions, listen, make them laugh, the end. That's it.
And I think that's what's special about what JP does is that the humor and the comedy behind it, but the reality behind what is speaking, it resonates with everybody. It's a lot like music, comedy in the same way. You can take real life circumstances and explain them in a humorous way, and it just lands. You know what I mean? There's no like, how can you be mad at it? Obviously, you're gonna have your attacks. JP, you've seen, and we've seen the comments on a lot of your content, but it reaches the masses, and it's because of the way the delivery. And it's important that we have this type of output from people like you and lots of others that convey their information. But before I go to you both about the war, I wanted to ask, within the last 2 hours, Trump extended the Iran ceasefire. I think he did that on Truth Social, if I'm not mistaken. And Iran's foreign ministry has said they have no plans to re-engage for now. Vance canceled his Pakistan trip, which they were like trying to use Pakistan as an intermediary with Iran. The U.S. seized an Iranian cargo. They've been going on ships, you know what I mean? So the U.S. seized an Iranian cargo ship on Sunday. Lindsey Graham was at the West Wing late Monday night. 13 Americans are dead that they've told us about. 3,300 Iranians are dead that they've told us about. 23 Israelis that they've told us about. And we still do not have a formal mutual defense treaty with.
I'm sorry, go back. How many casualties on the Iran side did you say?
So far, what's been reported that I was able to find was 3,300 or so.
That's not a small number of people, man.
It's a lot of people, yeah. So, and I mean, if this is just getting started, but and we still do not, like I said, or I was going to say, is we don't have like a formal defense treaty with Israel. And actually, yeah, like you were saying also that we don't have an alliance treaty, with Israel.
They're not an ally. Not a real
not an ally, and not on paper, right? And to our view, to my view, they haven't treated us like allies, and it's been for over 70 years that we've seen it this way. Not even NATO, no signed treaty. Now hold that, and then layer this on top. You've got Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of the loudest America First voices in Congress, or had left Congress, or whatever it is that she's up to now. But she's left the party publicly over Trump's handling of both the Iran war and the Epstein files. She said on the record that he ran counter to everything he campaigned on. And we were all screaming that at the top of our lungs. And she has too. And she has said that she said he told her his friends she would get hurt. All the friends of the files would get hurt, all of this stuff. So she's gone. Bondi is fired. And we're being told that this is peace, So I want to ask you both, and take it however you want to go in whatever direction. When a president announces a ceasefire that the other side has not publicly agreed to, extends it unilaterally, keeps the blockade running while Lindsey Graham shows up at the White House late at night and loses Marjorie Taylor Greene's voice completely. You know, obviously she's not been a proponent of any of this. You've also got the likes of the Joe Kent, you know, with so many voices speaking out over this exact war. What is actually happening here? Is there any plan of diplomacy? Is this theater, or is this something else entirely? Any of you could take it away.
Man, my answer is going to be long. So JP, rock and roll.
Sure. Well, Jesse, thank you for assuming I'm such an idiot that I
No.
just say, no, you're right.
I don't want to feel like I'm like taking over. I'd rather just I'll listen to you for 45 straight minutes, man.
No, you're awesome, brother. You know, my guess is that this is going to be a long thing. I mean, we've seen the goalposts just move. I mean, it'll give you seizures if you keep watching the goalposts. They're just moving so damn much. And the Iranian regime saying they're not willing to negotiate, but Trump saying they said to me they will. Who knows? Like the Iranian regime, like, yes, they'll put truth out, you know, like through humor of Lego videos, but also, of course, they'll lie at times. So who knows if they're really willing to negotiate or not. But to me, I have to look at who's driving this war. It's Israel. And I think what Israel wants is expansion, their greater Israel project. I think they want to take over a lot of territory. I think their propaganda is, yeah, we're the eternal victim and we're just out to defend ourselves from these nukes that Iran's been 2 weeks away from having since 1996. So there's no question, like they're aggressors, and we're like the rich guy being taken advantage of by the guy in the entourage that we think is our friend, but he's just using us, abusing us for their own agenda. I heard a theory by I forgot the guy's name. He's just a genius, but the theory is that Israel could have an agenda here where they're ultimately looking to position themselves not as a world superpower, but as the world superpower, where they're currently auditioning for the deeper than deep state elites, like the people that really run the world. When you think of the deep state, think of, well, who runs them? That's maybe who Israel is auditioning for. And they're showing a couple things, a willingness to be brutal, a willingness to control, an ability to control the big powerhouse, the United States. So as they're showing that strength, and keep in mind, they're showing strength to basically demon humans. It's not like strength through morality or intelligence. So while they're like showing strength, how they can get the United States to do anything, they're also making the United States look weak, look stupid, and making us weak. So ultimately, I think the Iran war is just like a step in their agenda. But for the microcosm of the Iran war, man, I don't, with the current people in charge, Trump, Netanyahu, I don't think there's a chance at peace. I think it's going to be escalating a lot, and I really hope I'm wrong.
Same. I mean, I totally agree. That's like, I'm not sure. I was talking to Danks about this earlier today that Trump announced a new ceasefire. I think it was yesterday, and then apparently Netanyahu went on a stage, and this was after Trump had announced, he said, Israel is forbidden from bombing Lebanon. Enough's enough. That post. And Netanyahu went on a podium and just said, well, what they want as terms for the ceasefire is they want Israel out of the disputed zone in Lebanon, and they want us to cease our attacks, and these are not acceptable terms, and they just started bombing again. It's like, it's honestly, it's so brazen for them to do that given the circumstances. Right now, this blockade, it's like you're looking at it and you got 100 different things that are kind of part of the analysis. It's like what strategy are we doing? I mean, obviously doesn't seem like there was much strategy aside from listen to them, attack the regime, and then hope things go the way they said they would. Now we're in a situation where if we can't get commerce to reestablish normalcy through the strait, we're going to have a global economic collapse on a level. People have no idea what's coming if we don't fix this. It's like you're talking fertilizer, you're talking about starvation. They're already starting to ration fuel in other parts of the world that are, obviously net importers, and the United States is going to be heavily affected. Also, there will be shortages here. Like, this thing needs to get worked out. That's why when we were coming up on the deadline and Trump's like, we're going to eradicate the entire civilization. When I hear people go, guys, you don't get it, man. Okay. He's playing 4D chess. If the strait's closed, then we have limitations on oil. And who's everybody going to come to? They're going to come to the United States. It's like, that's not how this works, dude. We have crude. We export crude. They go refine. We don't even have the infrastructure to refine it like that. It's a global economy. Okay, that's not real. That is not real at all. They're like, I saw Fox News run a story, and they were like, so you heard the president? He said, bring all your ships to America if you can't get the oil over there. And they showed a map. That map that has all the ships all over it. And it was like, it looks like 120 ships have listened to the president as they appear to be going this way. I'm like, that's weasel language. I know what that means, that because you didn't say anything, you made no statements of fact. It looks like they listened to the president. They seem to be headed this way. That is a news words makeup story that you can't get sued for. Nonsense. So, I mean, all Iran has to do is just do exactly what it's doing right now. And eventually we either have to nuke them or fold. Like, it's checkmate. I've known that for, I can't even remember. I should talk to Valhalla about when we had this conversation, but like the weekend when I was in, when my kids had spring break, which was about 5 or 6 weeks ago, I remember these conversations. I'm like, it's already checkmate. We have no options here. They closed the strait. All of our allies rely on oil going through that strait. They can't live without oil. Every single part of civilization runs on access to oil. And eventually our allies are going to have to start buying from our enemies in Chinese yuan, which literally happened within like 24 hours of us having that conversation. That's all. And that's over a month ago. And since then, it's just been back, forth. We're going to destroy your civilization. We're not. Deadline, never mind, we'll push it. Iran, we never said that we were going to even have a conversation with you. It's like, it's chaos and nonsense. And then every time we get a ceasefire, Israel intentionally sabotages it. And it's like, I don't understand how we can't, why can't we punk that country? Okay, like when the whole world is depending on a ceasefire and they just go, nope. And and nobody can do anything. There's no threat we can make. Like, we're going to stop shipping you weapons, or we're going to stop sending you aid. It's like, I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand, but it is very challenging to watch.
Yeah. The thing that scares me about this is I would imagine the Iranian regime is willing to die for their cause, whether it's just through their interpretation of their religion or their hunger for power. I'm guessing they're willing to die on the hill they're in. So their motivation for compromise, it doesn't seem very high. And Jesse, as you mentioned, like, there's kind of two routes. Either they fold, good luck on that happening if they're willing to die for their cause, or we start nuking them. And maybe they start nuking us, but them being nuked is absolutely devastating. And I think if there was an actual desire to like get out rather than just keep escalating this, you just listen to the wisdom of Joe Kent, who says it really well. Like, one kind of sunk cost fallacy, get out. It didn't go the way you thought it would, giving Trump the benefit of the doubt. It didn't go that way. So get out. And you have to heavily restrict Israel in the sense of like, hey, if you violate any of these terms, we cut all your funding off, you leech. And it's like, that's very common sense. I'm grateful Joe Kent spoke that out into the ecosystem. And I think if there was a desire to kind of have some level of peaceful resolve, the wisdom of Joe Kent would have been acted on, and he wouldn't have had to resign.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you think about like what you said at the beginning in terms of their resolve to like take it all the way, it's another thing where you look at the decisions that were made, and someone advised our president that the right way to kick this thing off was to kill the 84-year-old religious leader in their country. You're like, you think that's going to break their resolve? That's going to turn it in there. That's the opposite of what how any human would react to that.
And didn't Trump do that on their religious holiday of all days?
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that, but if he did, that's
no, I will say, I don't know if you've looked into it or not, but I looked into why that was the case. And actually, the way the Iranian government is set up is the Ayatollah in the religious section of their government, because they have like their president, then they have the Ayatollah, which is half of their government. But the president actually does all of like the paperwork stuff, all of the, forward facing, what media and like dealing with the bureaucracy part. And then the Ayatollah actually, not just the religious part, but they're in charge of the military aspect of the country. So that's the only
I didn't know
thing.
that. I didn't realize that the religious side was that's good information. See, dude, thanks.
Yeah.
It makes it much like a little bit less stupid.
Jesse and I
meaning
are
to
just
tell
here
you.
being opinionated lunatics, and Danks is like, well, I have actual information.
Yeah.
Helpful.
Hey, you sound really confident, but you sound a little ill-informed. Let me help you out.
Well, I've heard you say it multiple times. I thought maybe you should at least know that. But
Oh, it's important.
still,
Yeah,
like to me, it's very clear when you think about it why they would set it up that way. It's like, okay, well, if you're gonna take out our military, you're gonna have to kill the religious leader to do that, and that's gonna create massive conflict. So it's actually a very smart position to place their political business that way, if you look at it objectively from Iran's perspective. So yeah, I think that it's one of those things, man. I mean, it's even worse than killing like what people. It's like killing our priests. It's worse than that. It's like killing our priest, our pastor, our lead pastor, or whatever, the global pastor for Christians or Catholics or whatnot.
Like killing the
and
Pope
then the president, the Pope. Oh yeah, the Pope. Sorry,
yeah,
the Pope. But also the president, but also like I don't know. I mean, the whoever, like the most important 3 or 4 pronged person in that religious and local area. So it's so much more damaging than just killing the religious leader. It's so much more than that, especially to the Islamic nature of their religion. I'm going to run through just a couple of these to get them out of the way not to get them out of the way, but I don't want them to stack up too much. Welcome, Paintball, new member. Tara Lynn, thank you for joining, new member. I'm not sure who these are. They might be on both of yours there. Kim, you got a super chat.
What's up, Dubs?
Dubs, what's up, Dubs? Good to see you. Fan of the show as well, bro. I like your content. Quinny says JP is glorious. Jesse, okay, too.
I'll take in his place.
Hey, thanks for the super. Welcome, Grams Donna. MDG, what's up? What's up, homie? 50 banger. Thank you for that. Nothing, just me shouting out, showing love to the 3 of you. Thanks for having real Americans backs without backing down. I'd be honored to go to jail with you all eventually for being anti-Semitic. I hope
it's
that
coming.
doesn't.
Well, look forward to sharing the cell.
Thank you for that. Did you guys hear about that girl, student that is being, I guess she's got a felony case for, I think it was in Florida, where she basically said, I hope BB comes and drops, you know what, like a bomb or whatever on this location that they were at. Like she was just trolling in their chat. And now she's in front of a court for a felony for bomb threats at an event.
Yeah. In her actual words, she didn't say bomb. She said bon, as in the candy. And they're saying like she implied that. But yeah, it's like the restrictions on freedom of speech under like anti-hate is concerning for 2 reasons. One, hate, nobody likes it, but hate speech is allowed and it has to be or else you don't have free speech. And then the second scary thing is what's being considered hate speech, as we know, is literally anything that people in power don't like. They will label it, just like, I was called a racist during the COVID George Floyd days because I didn't think people should be hired based on their skin color. Smear with racist, that now you're being smeared as an anti-Semite. That's hate speech. It's like, I was literally criticizing the government of Israel.
And that's crazy how they've made that.
Too.
They've turned that into anti-Semitism, which is just so wild to me. Unfortunately, that's what we're facing. But yeah, man. Thanks for the super chat, MDG. James, I watch all of your channels. Thanks for your hard work. Also, we, the USA, are more propagandized than Iran and North Korea. Just facts. Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, we certainly were before the advent of social media and the internet, but they can't allow this to continue forever. They're gonna take a shot at us.
Yeah.
I like to hope for the best and not saying lay down and don't try. Yet it's possible. We're living in the glory days.
I agree.
I remember, during the COVID Biden era, how restricted speech on the internet was. I mean, it was severely restricted. And like, just if we get there again, let alone further past, like we could look back on, today, April 2026, and be like, man, do you remember when you could speak your mind on YouTube? For the most part.
I mean, I was listening to someone talk, I forget who it was, and they were saying, if you were to talk to somebody back in 1950 or 40 or 30 or 100 years ago and ask them what our freedom looked like today, they'd say we have no freedom, actually, as compared to what it was back then. So that says a lot, and you could see all the changes that we've had. But thanks, James.
In that conversation, though, I do like to remind myself of, because people forget real fast. It's like there was a lot of stuff going on before, Trump got elected that I literally could not stand, that is currently tremendously improved. Like I think, we've got this one area where they're starting to kind of like, you can feel them peeking around and poking around about like what we're allowed to say. And they seem to have very similar arguments. I was just looking on X at Mark Levin. Oh, Tucker Carlson's over. The media will continue to promote him and his insanity, Marxist, blah, blah, blah. Just exactly the same playbook as they did during the pandemic. But like the pandemic was different. That was, I mean, they were like, heal, or we're going to take it. I got fired from my job. I was a #1 rep in the country. At my company. They found out I wasn't vaccinated, and they fired me.
Wow.
Ended up being a good thing. But I mean, I feel like we're in a much better place in terms of that stuff right now. But it's like if the power base really starts to feel things slipping, like it appears that they are for them, I mean, they're not gonna. This is what I'm saying. Like these guys, they don't just lose. You don't just beat them. You know what I mean? When we won this election and everyone's like, all right, Bill Gates is vanquished. I have a video coming out tomorrow. It's like, oh, he's not vanquished. Do you know what's going on with the Albanian government right now? Because they elected there's an AI bot that's literally a member of parliament. It's not a human. It's an AI bot who has it presents as a woman. And she just announced that now there's 83 more of her, and she's assigning all of them to the 83 members of parliament. And guess who owns the AI that is running that organization? Bill Gates, of course. It's like that's the kind of thing. Oh, what, you can't see where that's going, dude? That's a pilot program. Okay. You think he's just doing that in Albania? Like, why do you think he would pick Albania? Because we won't watch it. Like, we're not going to watch Albania. And it's like, this is good. It'll get rolled out in the EU. It'll get rolled out everywhere. And then it's inevitable. So these guys they don't just go away because you win, one of these battles. They have all the money, resources in the world. And like, it's just, everybody needs to stay vigilant. If we want to avoid one of these nightmarish outcomes.
I'm going to do 2 more of these and we'll keep it moving. Mountain Star Studio, thanks to JP for being OG. Blessings to sarcasm. Hey,
Right on.
thanks for the super chat. Sam Parker, hey, what's up, Sam Parker? Good to see you, man. $10. Hey guys, thanks for using your time and talents to call out these demons and fight for America first. Go Max. Hey, you guys know Sam Parker? He's the guy that is being sued by Alexis Wilkins for allegedly calling her a honeypot. You remember that? I think they're suing like 3 people.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this is...
Oh, dude, we got Valhalla says, JP, time to come on my show. Valhalla, dude, you want to come on this one? I'll send you a link. You
yeah,
come on
send
right
him
now.
a link if he wants to come on, bro.
Text me.
By the way,
if you want to come on, dude.
Valhalla, Nate, big fan of yours, brother. I've been watching your stuff for a long time. Appreciate what you're doing, and consider me in on being on your show anytime.
Yeah, you're welcome to come through. Yeah, absolutely. Send him a link if he wants. Yeah, Sam, bro, I'm sorry that this is happening to you. I know we talked yesterday, and look, bro, you have been America first from what I've seen, and anybody out there that is taking advantage of the legal system in a way that is compromising America's values is not a good thing. I think that I just don't like the way that this is all going for you, and I hope and I pray that things go well in your case. I think this is ridiculous, and I think there's a lot of issues with the way it's being handled. So if you don't know Sam, go follow him, Base Sam Parker on X. And I think he's got like a GoFundMe and stuff. I know he's raising money for his litigation, but $5 million they're trying to get him for.
Yeah, all the support to you, Sam, brother. I feel for you. And I know there's millions of Americans that would say like, hey, Alexa, she is a hell of a country artist, and her really man boyfriend, Cash, like he never drinks, because we also don't want to be sued for $250 million. I had that picture of him drinking with the hockey team. He just never drinks. So those seem to be 2 very secure human beings that you have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, and also you're seeing it's just not cool, because you've got she's not even the wife. It's like you're using the political spectrum of him being the head of the FBI in your favor, as if you're a family member being slandered. And look, I don't want to get too deep into that, because I don't want to, say things I'm not sure to say that I could or not. But when we're looking at somebody who is taking advantage of this political field and her boyfriend, and then private security and private jet flights, and using Kash Patel's attorney for his nonprofit to do the litigation, who is also Bennell Group is also like the lead lawyer for like Trump's Make America Great Again PAC. I mean, these people are just using donor money to attack the very people that are donating for the cause that they wanted. And it's bullshit. I think it's bullshit.
Yeah,
I saw JP. I just saw your post on Kash Patel, and you're like, "Hey, he's got a great case for this lawsuit. He's pounding the beer."
I mean, that's the thing. Like when Kash Patel, I'm suing the Atlantic for $250 million. Meanwhile, millions of people have seen him just pounding beers. And the person that wrote the article, I have no idea if they're credible or not, but they allegedly had like 24 insiders. So when I see him suing the Atlantic, it makes me think he's guilty. And when I hear him, like his, weirdo girlfriend suing Sam, it makes me think she is a honeypot, allegedly. Patel, I of course don't really think that, but you make me think that.
When you bring
Nate,
up
Nate just texted me this. He's like, show them this. This is for my thumbnail. He's going live too. And he's like, show them this. Look at this for his thumbnail.
What the
line Nate up for the lawsuits as well then.
Yeah. His I thought the clip that Candace made when she was explaining, she's like, you don't understand the lawsuit. She's just explaining that like they think you're a honeypot because your husband, your boyfriend's ugly, and then she's like, it's just because everyone just thinks your boyfriend's like butt ugly, and they look at you and they look at him, and it's like,
yeah, dude. I mean, come on, she's a dime piece, right? Like she looks great, you know. Yeah. Alexis, you're a beautiful girl. You're obviously an amazing singer. Everybody loves your stuff. You're so talented, and so it just doesn't make sense to be with this dude. You know what I mean? I just I don't want to criticize the great FBI leadership, but I will say that
tremendous leadership. Thanks. Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not about anything else except for, bro. I just don't know if that is what you are able to capably satisfy someone of that stature, but I could be wrong.
JP, I mean, have you used that the podcast episode that he did with her as the basis of a skit? Because if not,
sure as hell did.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I sat down. I was interviewing the two of them. Boy, what a beta male.
That was unbelievable that he agreed to do that.
Yeah, it was such a terrible look for him. Yeah. It's just like you're watching someone with Hillary Clinton. Like this guy is just acting like a complete beta male, no testosterone in his system, not exuding traits of a man with his lady. He's just so subservient. And like she is as charming as an eel as well. So kind of a good match. But long story short, Jesse, yes, I did use that as a skit.
I must have seen it because I watch all of them, but I couldn't. I just talked about that episode so much that I can't remember. I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was sometimes these guys, something like that will come up and I'm so excited to do the video. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to talk about this. What is he doing? Like, what are you guys doing? And she's looking at him, like she turns her whole body towards him. She's like, you better say the right thing, guy. And then, it's like,
bro, you picked up on those cues so fast.
It's just so all of it was just, and like as soon as you point at it, you can't unsee it. It's like, look how she's looking at him right now. And then once he stops talking, you can see her kind of go, okay, that was acceptable. Well, I'm gonna let that slide.
Bro, yeah. The thing is, imagine how that couple could be if he was an alpha male. Like, just when they go into the room, imagine the power could be with someone that was confident and like there's no debate, this guy knows what he's doing, he at least looks like it, you know what I mean? But it's almost like a great, you know, waste of a woman.
Well, yes. It is,
you know,
but also you kind of look at the kind of the weak traits and beta-ness of Kash Patel. Unfortunately, I think that actually makes him a perfect fit for the job. Not like if you look at the job description of the FBI director on LinkedIn, like not that job description, but what the job actually requires. Here's the Epstein files. Don't find anything. That's an order.
Go on Joe Rogan and tell him that all the stuff you said about this for 3 years, now you were all wrong. You had it all wrong. Definitely killed himself.
He definitely killed himself. That's what the job is. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be. It is. Therefore, he actually does seem like he's appropriate for the job.
Yeah, I made with Chris Pihota is a friend of mine now that's come on my show a bunch of times. He was a division chief for the FBI. He retired in 2019. He is not a huge fan of the new leadership, and he's like, I've had the privilege of getting to talk to him about a lot of stuff because we actually worked close together on like an actual thing that we had to run up the FBI related to a potential like terror threat. Long story, but anyway, what I've been able to take my ideas to him and kind of bounce them off of him, and watching Kash in the job has actually illuminated to me why previous directors behaved the way that they did. Like as an example, I always felt like you'd get one of these directors on Capitol Hill that you would ask, and they would constantly go, "Listen, we're not going to tell you. You know, that's not something that we're going to talk about." And you're always like, man, and you get the impression that the FBI has all of the information and they are choosing to not share it with us because there's some secret they're hiding, or, you know, sources and methods, whatever. And when Cash was coming out, especially like at the beginning of the, you know, the Charlie Kirk thing, and he's like, we got this thing. And then like fast forward 24 hours later, that was wrong. And then with the shooting at Brown University, same exact thing. And so I said to Chris, I'm like, this is illuminating me to the fact it's like, of course you don't say anything, because if you don't say anything, it can't come back and bite you. So it's like, it's way better to just go, yeah, you know, like let them think that we know everything when we don't know anything yet. You know, it's like, you either have to appear like a tower of strength that no one can see inside, or else you're going to accidentally show them that they're just people working on these really complicated things and they don't really know, you know, in a lot of cases. Like Cash is a perfect kind of training model of like how not to do the job.
Pretty good at it. Pretty good at not doing a job.
Yeah.
Did you? I don't know if you. And I don't know if this is verified, but yesterday, CIA officer Larry Johnson went on Judge Napolitano's podcast and claimed that during an emergency White House meeting this past Saturday, Trump tried to access the nuclear codes.
I read it was not verified, but that doesn't make me feel a whole lot better about it yet. Dude, I'm like, I would need to know that that's not, you know.
I mean, I don't know why anyone would make it up. I mean, I guess I could see why. I'm sure I could find reasons why, but the story's been repeated all over, I think, on
it is just one guy saying it, though. It is. I mean, like, because, man, anything with nukes, it gets me right in the fear center, and I go tear into those stories. I am terrified of nuclear weapons.
Well, that leads to what I was going to ask, is that when a story breaks that confirms like every fear we already have, like a general refusing Trump's nuclear order. And I mean, there's a lot of people that want it to be true, you know, because it would explain so much about maybe the mindset, I don't know, or what's going to happen. Maybe it puts a timeline of things are certainly going to happen, maybe, or it's escalating towards this direction. I mean, how, as independent creators, how do we stop ourselves or help people understand that we don't want to turn into a generation of like Dan Rather style single source disasters, or just on a political side where we are fighting so hard against each other? It seems like the right is so just separated, and it's fighting against each other. The Laura Loomer stuff, the Candace Owens stuff, the Thomas Massey versus David versus Goliath type of stuff. I mean, how do we move forward as a generation? And I would say leaders in this generation and younger, especially for people that are on social media and watch a lot of our content, especially both of yours. How do you guys have any idea how we can stop the infighting, or do you see an end in near sight, or does this have to go? Where do we go from here? It's only getting worse. I don't know where to take that, you know?
Yeah, let me say just one super quick thing about that nuke story and what you were talking about is because it's a perfect example of how the news cycle and just the temperature of the country seems to turn people into these reactive creatures where it's all or nothing. Then that's exactly what I try to avoid. And so it's like, okay, yeah, it's like, oh, we're team Trump. And then it's like, oh, well, he's in Israel, started this war. And then I watch people literally instantaneously. Then now it's like, oh, now they hear an unverified story about Trump after like 8 to 9 years of just bullshit, constant, absolute barrage of bullshit, made up, no verified sources stories. And then I watch them, and then now they just believe it. And I'm like, guys, like, you just have to be objective about this, okay? Like, they used to run this kind of stuff this is not different. The only thing that's different is now you view him differently and you're more likely to believe it. It's like, if you have the standard that you want to verify this stuff, you should have the same standard. Do you know what I mean? Regardless of how you feel about, the person it's about.
No.
That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, and I would add to that so that we don't just breed a generation of cancer conscious human beings attacking each other because they disagree. You look at Laura Loomer on Twitter, and
It's so bad.
you kind of have objective mental illness, just spewing hate, vile words, telling Candace Owens God hates you. And like, we all become that if we're not careful. So I think how we don't do that is we stay principled. We understand clearly what do we stand for, and then we're principally crusading for that. Now, using Laura Loomer as an example, nobody knows what she stands for because she never tells you. She's just usually in there doing emotional hysterical arguments and calling balls and strikes. Candace does that some too, as they've been in a Twitter fight recently. Or you look at Mark Levin just calling people Nazi, Nazi, Nazi. It's like, you're not standing for anything. You are just getting emotional outrage out there, attacking other cells in the body of humanity. You're literally behaving like cancer. So I think it's important to remind ourselves. I need this reminder too. And of course, remind the next generation, know what you stand for, know your principles, and then use your voice for that. Now, also, we all have the warrior archetype. Sometimes we need to be fierce. Sometimes there's someone, attacking what we stand for, and we're going to attack them back, but we can attack their position on their substance instead of attacking their character. Well, you're an anti-Semite, you're a Nazi, you're a lunatic, whatever. So there's nothing wrong with being fierce. And I'd say there's something really right with being a fierce warrior. But the thing about the warrior archetype, in the truest sense of the word warrior, you'll never see a warrior on the battlefield that doesn't know what he's fighting for. Mm-hmm. They know. That's why they're willing to put their lives on the line, because what they're fighting for is more important to them than they are. They're willing to risk their lives. So I think we're in a spiritual warfare right now. We're all warriors. Maybe wake up and let yourself be a warrior, but you have to be a warrior who knows what you're fighting for, and choose what you're fighting for really carefully. Use great discernment. Don't fight for propaganda that you've fallen for. Don't fight for a politician you've made into a godlike entity in your mind. Fight for what's most important to you. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that is, but please tell you what that is. So we have to be principled. We have to know what we stand for and then represent that, instead of just like who can do the best insults on Twitter or who can get the rowdiest at a protest.
Yep. And what I like about the current state of the world is that this situation is going to show you exactly who everybody is. Yeah. It's just it's going to show you exactly who they were are. And because you can't have been an honest actor if you said that you stood for this, and this, and then act like none of the stuff that's happened in the last few months has happened, and just move forward. I love my favorite comment that I get. They go, "Oh, hey, Jesse the Democrat now." I'm like, Jesse the Democrat, huh? Yeah, like, hey, Jesse who lost his job because he didn't take the shot. Jesse who had to flee California because they tried to force shots on my children, and I fled. My entire family's in California. I moved to Texas to avoid that tyranny. You think that because I can, to your point, call balls and strikes on my guy, that I'm a Democrat now? It's like, it just shows who's got principles and who doesn't. It's just really straightforward. If you're always supportive of one side or the other, you're not being objective. And if you always shit on the same people, no matter what, also not being objective, That's why I went so hard at Kyle Kalinske in my video today, is because this guy, first of all, he is exactly what we're talking about. His entire show is nothing but just shit on him, no matter what. To the extent that yesterday, he did a video shitting on Rogan because Rogan went to the White House and did the thing with Trump to get Ibogaine on the process of getting FDA approval, which is one of the most, the opioid crisis is nightmare fuel. I used Ibogaine to get off of opioids. It's the only thing that worked. And it was like a completely life-altering experience. And Kyle, who's supposedly a leftist, who's supposed to believe in psychedelic medicine, that's like right dead center. You're a leftist, right, guy? And God, if you saw the video that he did, he's literally screaming about Joe Rogan's a cuck, you're fucking idiot, you're getting used, yada yada. I just lost my shit. I was like, I can't with fucking people like him, man. It's like, but yeah, just be able to. I've been shitting on Trump for the last 6 weeks over the war, but when he does this thing with the Ibogaine, I'm like, this is awesome. Start doing this, and I'll be back on board.
Yesterday I intentionally went on Twitter and tweeted about, Trump doing this thing to get psychedelic research pushed ahead, help veterans with PTSD, opioid addictions. I went on there, intentionally praised it.
Yep.
Because I support it. And if I didn't intentionally do that, then I'm just cornering myself as I'll only criticize the guy. No, I've praised him. I love what he's done with the border. I've loved so much of what he's done.
Me too.
I've got 3 or 4 huge complaints about him that are massive betrayals, yet I will continue to do my best to call balls and strikes. And lastly, I would just add to the conversation where we can hopefully ourselves and teach the next generation to be productive, so we're not just living in a emotional sewage zone, is admit when you're wrong. Admit when you change your mind. Like, that actually makes people trust you, just so you know, because you admit you don't know everything, and you demonstrate a willingness to abandon old thinking for better thinking and better beliefs. So I would just say that humbleness, rather than the arrogance of I'm right about everything, is probably beneficial for us moving forward too.
I totally agree. And just a perfect example of this here, Danks, put my screen up. Look at Jank, dude. I used to constantly fuck with Jank. And then I ended up doing his show twice. He did my show. I like Jank now, dude. And then with stuff like this, he said, everybody rejecting Tucker Carlson's apology for backing Trump. What the fuck else do you want? If you don't think it's good enough that he rejected Trump and joined anti-war, anti-genocide side, you're a bit of an asshole. You don't speak for any of us who'd like to end the war. It's like, thank you, dude.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a common sense, completely, we are aligned take. I found too that when I did his show, I'm like, what do you think that we disagree on? It's like, honestly, I would turn on the Young Turks, and at that time, whatever, we seem to agree on most things. Most people do, because most things are common sense. Yeah. That's why I think that the bad guys will always reveal themselves, because they can't defend their argument. They can't defend their positions rationally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to piggyback on what both of you said. Definitely JP, is that leading with positivity, leading with grace, fighting for what actually matters. And people think a lot of times that the work that we do, you do, Jesse, I do, maybe JP even, is that it's built on rage, but it's not. It shouldn't be, right? I don't do this because I'm angry at the people in power. I do this because I love the people watching right now. And there's a grave difference between being angry at them and loving America, right? Loving our people. The guy driving home from a double shift, the mom folding laundry with this stream on, the kid who just turned 18 trying to figure out what to believe. Those are the people that matter most. And those are my people. And you can't fight for people from bitterness, only from a perspective of love, because bitterness burns out and people get over it, and it does no good for anybody when you come from that perspective. And to the younger generation listening or watching us right now, you don't have to become cynical to be informed. You don't have to become hard to see. You don't have to be seeing things in an unclear way. And you don't have to be a hard ass to see things clearly. And the people who see the clearest are the ones who, kept their heart soft enough to still care, but sharp enough to call out the shit when we see it. And accountability, along with staying awake to what's actually happening and stay warm to everyone. That's why even I've even said, like, we should pray for Trump. We should pray for the people that are doing these terrible things, because that's the only, honestly, in my opinion, as a person that's a believer, I believe that's the actual only way that we get out of the satanic, demonic garbage that they're doing, right? The ball worshiping bullshit that we have seen over centuries. And this is exactly why, when you disagree, we all disagree with each other in some cases, but it's how you disagree and then how you approach that, right? You've got thousands, hundreds of millions of people dying from overdoses, opioid addiction. You've got people that have died in war. You've got veterans on the streets. We've got all kinds of stuff wrong with this country. And then you've got the Epstein files and all of the non-disclosure from the most transparent organization in history. And honestly, because of the goodness that I want to put out in the world's darkness, and try to create light, the empire that I want to build is through that. And that's exactly why the next thing I want to talk about is the hardest test of everything that I've even just said myself, is the Epstein files, right? Because if we can't cover something this dark without becoming dark ourselves, we're no better than the people we're calling out, right? So when there are real women on the other side of this story. There are real survivors. There are real daughters, sisters, mothers. There are real men that have committed these atrocities. And the question isn't just what's in the files. The question begins to be, how do we, as independent voices, fight for answers without turning the story into clickbait for views, or these women into just like creating radical personality and anger? How do we keep pushing people in power that are actively burying it? And how do we say to the young women watching tonight, and the people that may have done some horrific things, perhaps some might be watching, who need to know that what happened to these survivors is not okay, whether the system ever admits it publicly or not? And I just wanted to kind of go in that direction and see what you guys think.
Yeah. Well, I would hope, this is one of my hopes, is the survivors can see the outrage. They can see the conversation. They can see, there's a poll that came out yesterday. 86% of all Americans want the Epstein files released, which kind of tells you, are 14% of all Americans in the Epstein files? Like, what the hell's wrong with this other 14%?
Yeah.
But hopefully the survivors can see that, and they can see so many people talking about it and talking about it for so long. Hopefully they can see that and know so many people care. They really care deeply. And I just hope they can feel that. They can know that they matter, their story matters, and people really do care. And I'm so sorry any of that happened to any of those girls. And then as far as putting pressure on our leaders without becoming demons ourselves, man, I think we have to keep talking about it. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being angry. I think anger is a very healthy emotion when it comes to asserting appropriate boundaries. Now, if you have a predator violating boundaries, which is layered here, those girls had their boundaries violated in massive ways. The rights of the American people, the rights of the survivors have all been violated by operation to protect the criminals. That's a violation. If you don't get mad when you're violated, or you imagine your child violated, if you don't get mad, you're a sociopath. So I'm not going to say don't be angry. I'm going to say, like, anger is a healthy emotion here. And also, don't just be angry. Also be sensible, use your discernment, keep talking about it, keep bringing it up, keep putting pressure on politicians. If they never listen, then guess what? They deserve to continuously hear about it. And lastly, I'll say before I turn it over to Jesse, I've got a selfish motive. Like, yes, I absolutely want justice for the Epstein victims. That drives me. By the way, I remember the first Epstein video I got censored for was in February 2020. It was before COVID. They were censoring the Epstein stuff back then. YouTube took my video down, and there was nothing graphic on the video. I wasn't discussing any graphic details. They were just trying to shut this conversation down back in early 2020. But here's my selfish motivation for continuing to talk about this. I've got 2 sons. And right now we're setting a precedent. They're either going to live in a world where we let people in positions of power get away with the most heinous violations known to man, violations on children, or they're going to live in a system where there's accountability to that. There's repercussions for those satanic actions. Now, I want choice B for my sons. I want them to live in a world where no matter how rich and powerful and influential you are, if you violate children, you have hell to pay. So that's a big motivator for me, for my children, other people's children going into the future.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
very nice. I like that.
Yeah. That's where I'm at too. I mean, you know, it's like I'm a father of 3 daughters, and the way that I've approached, you know, fatherhood is like, I've always said that I think that parenting girls is much simpler for someone like me, because all I have to do is make sure that they feel safe, that they feel happy, and that they have things that they are focused on. And then they got a little older, and I was like, never mind, I also want them to be jiu-jitsu champions. And so that is what all 3 of them are. And like, there's something about knowing that, you know what? Let me rewind. So Faraz Zahabi is a coach of George St. Pierre, one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. And Faraz is an extremely, like, he's a wealth of wisdom in life and in, you know, as a martial artist, which is a much bigger thing than just fighting. And he did Rogan's show a long time ago, and he said something that just stuck into my head like a screw that I could never get out. He was talking about how he parents his kids, and he was like, look, if my kid comes to me and he asks me for food, I don't feed him. That makes him weak. And Joe's like, you don't feed your kid? He's like, no, man. He's like, that's not my job. My job's not to feed my kid. My job is to teach him to hunt so he can feed himself. And I was like, fuck. That it just like, it was just one of those things. And I just stuck so firm. And, you know, I try to do my best with that with the girls, and like, you know, putting them in a position where if anybody ever holds them on the ground and they're in a position where they're, you know, inside the legs of my daughters, they might think they're in the control. They're not. They're going to get their arm broken very, very quickly. And it's like, that's all. I mean, and as a microcosm, most important thing for kids is how I prepare them. And I'm also doing that in a way where they're not like psychos. It's just there if they need it. And, you know, when it comes to like, how do I feel about this, that, or the other, as far as I'm concerned, anybody who victimizes a child can die. I mean, like this, that's it. No one's on this planet for that long, dude. It's like, you know, 80, 85 and 90 years. That goes by real fast. You're 35 years old and you take it from a kid, you have sacrificed the remaining time that you have. It's as simple as that for me. But hopefully I would never be in a position where I would have to actually be the person who, you know, did it. But like, you know, just any of that stuff, man. And we're talking about, there's that guy, King Azuli, who's like he's one of these like fake Andrew Tate idiots. This guy's case came out. This dude participated when he was 19 years old in a gang rape of a 15-year-old who was a virgin. And he's walking around on the internet like he's an influencer. He just did an interview and talked about how he's like, she wasn't a child, she's 15. I'm like, yeah, I mean,
wow.
But that was last night. It put me in a real bad headspace. I won't tell you where my brain went. But like that guy, I don't know how the fuck that guy's walking around, dude. If you read that case, it's like, I don't understand how anyone can accept that kind of behavior from anyone. And the Epstein files are just the most grandiose version of that, where it's institutionalized destruction of innocence. And it's like any way that you can tell yourself, if you're participating in pushing that stuff to the side, making sure this person doesn't get popped. I mean, it's a tricky situation if you're in the game of power, because even if you believe that you're one of the good guys, and you have this thing in your hand over here where you can control the behavior and the decisions of 6 people over there, because you have this that you can hold over their head. You have no idea what's going to happen if you take them off the board. That's a challenging decision to make. And I don't really know what the answer to it is, but
do you think
I can't get my head around protecting anyone that I know participated in anything like that under any circumstances. I just can't get there, dude.
Yeah.
Because of all of this, like all of what you just said, what's crazy is like these people that have been implicated, they have families as well. They have children as well. And I don't understand why, like, what would it take to actually get people prosecuted, get this thing actually rolling? Or will we never actually see an outcome that's positive for the world out of this case, the Epstein file case?
Some people who have gotten exposed have lost their positions at least. Like, you know, if you're looking for like something that's happened, it's like, you know, you had Larry Summers he lost his status. There's a lot of people who have lost status. The fact that you got that one guy, what's that one guy's name who was like the professor, and he's talking about torture and all that stuff in the files, and like, what's that guy's name?
I forget his name. I know who you're talking about.
That guy, you look in that guy's eyes and you're like, that is a very, very identifiable look in his face. He has the same look as like David Copperfield. It's not, you're like, this is someone who likes to hurt women. Like he likes to hurt. I can see it at least. And it's like, I mean, I don't know what you do with a person like that. It's all this, you know, you read the emails, you know that this is a person who's done those things, but you don't know any specific details of any cases. You don't know if there are any witnesses. You have no idea what's going on. It's just but I mean, like if I worked with that person, if I was anywhere, if I was in their class, any of that, it's like the fact that they got exposed is something, at least, you know, like it's better than we had before the files came out. At least it's like, if there's any grain of positivity to come out of it, there are people who got exposed in ways that they don't like a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And if I was an odds maker, I wouldn't give it really good odds that there will be anything resembling complete justice within the criminal justice system. Maybe all we get as far as justice is the social justice in the non-communist sense of the term, where people's reputations are punished accordingly, where they become outcasts. Just like if we were in tribes and someone was hurting others, violating children, they're out of the tribe. Hey, you are a threat to the living members of our tribe. You are now outcast, as it should be. But we also want justice within the criminal justice system. Based on the reality that I've seen, I think it is incredibly low likelihood
I agree.
we even see any remote level of that.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
you said that with the tribe because I've mentioned this on the streams a few times, but I read like a book that I read that kind of same type of thing that just stuck. A lot of the stuff from it stuck. It's called it's a book called The Sociopath Next Door, and it's written by a psychotherapist who worked almost exclusively with psychopathy and sociopathy. And she wrote a book. She changed names and changed things, but it was like, you know, here is what sociopathy and psychopathy is. And then I think there was maybe like 5 or 6 people that she had worked with, and she told their stories and how it manifested. But the reason I brought up the tribes is they're currently 1 out of every 25 people in America is a sociopath. And she said that the reason for that is because prior to modern justice systems, what would happen is people would be in tribes and they would figure out that this guy keeps pretending to be sick when all the men go out hunting and then he tries to fuck their wives, they would throw him off a cliff. Yeah. You know, it's like, it was, they identify and they just are gone. They're out of the breeding system. You know what I mean?
So survival of the fittest, they literally weren't fit to survive.
Yeah.
But
And
now,
holding each other accountable,
Yeah.
within your own apparatus.
Yep.
but now some of those people are actually protected and preserved, whether it's the left calling them minor attracted people, it's an identity, or the corruption of our criminal justice system, literally at a federal level, protecting these criminals when nature would otherwise have them weeded out with something. I also agree with what you said, Jesse. Pretty quick death penalty for anyone who violates a child. I feel really great about that. Everybody I talks to feels great about that. And it makes sense because that's a very primal, appropriate thing to happen to protect our tribe. The most vulnerable members of the tribe, by the way.
Yeah. You're from, you said you used to live in Temecula area, right?
North County, San Diego. Yeah, the Carlsbad area.
Were you around like between 2008 and 2010 around then?
Yep.
Do you remember there was a case somewhere in that time frame, because I was in San Diego also, and there was a guy who was in El Cajon who had gotten arrested, and he had videotaped himself taking it from a 3-year I think it was a 3-year-old. That's the case that I always remembered, where I was like, this motherfucker is going to get food and shelter. Like he videotaped himself. Like, it's like, that guy's got to go, man. Like, he's just got to go. Like, there's just.
Yeah, I was actually in San Diego as well. So from 2005 to 2010, something like that, 2011, I lived in North County in Carmel Mountain, Rancho Bernardo area. I went to RB High School.
Do you guys remember around that time when there was that surfer guy who punched a guy in La Jolla, and the dude fell, hit his head on the curb, and died? Then you remember that?
Yeah, briefly, but yeah, what happened with that person?
I'll tell you what happened with this person. Was I read that article and I was like, I'm never fighting anyone outside of a gym ever again, and I haven't, not once since then. I was like, fuck that, man. That guy.
You never know. You saw Sneeko got attacked on the street.
I did.
People were saying it was a stunt or whatever, but like, I don't think so. I think that's just.
I will say, Danks, I'm going to disagree. Any of those live streamers where it's just like they have all this slop on the internet, and they have these kind of things where so many people are paid to publish their clips. It's just really a weird thing. But you always see Clavicular or Sneeko or iShowSpeed, like, whoa, they got in a fight.
Shock factor.
Yeah, I don't believe any of it is authentic. That's me personally.
It's probably a good way.
I think Clavicular faked the thing where he ran over the guy with the car. I think that was not real.
Maybe. By the way, what an idiot, just to get off topic, Clavicular. He names himself off like one of the weakest, stupidest bones in the body. Like, clavicles are so easy to break. You have your sternoclavicular joint, a acromioclavicular joint. He's like, I know what a good name is. Clavicular.
Clavicular
is like,
that's where. That's weird. I have no idea. Where would he come up with that? It's like clavicular. It's like,
I don't think he comes up with anything good ever. So I think he came up with that in the same place he came up with smashing his face with a hammer to get better looking, or to do meth to suppress his appetite.
That's wild. Yeah, I mean, that is wild. JP, have you ever met Andrew Tate? Have you ever met the Tate brothers before?
I have not met them.
I saw, the only reason I asked is I saw like Clavicular and Andrew Tate in some stream they were doing together, and Clavicular actually made it seem like when he was talking to Tate that he basically is saying to him that like the whole thing's an act. You know, he was like, he's like, I can't believe anyone was actually taking the things that I was saying seriously. I'm like, I'm just like, he made it. It's they're like sitting on a bus or something like that, and I was like, that's funny. I haven't met either of the Tates either, but I have been very close to them once, and those guys are fucking big, man. Those are big.
I would imagine, and also I'll share an unpopular opinion just because it's what I really think. I would have no interest in meeting them. They say a lot of the right things, but when I look at their character and some of the other things they say, it's like I think those are really poor examples of men who are actively teaching other men how to be men. The way they talk about women, not to mention like them running their webcam business. And I know there's allegations against them for trafficking. Those could be fraudulent. That could be real. I don't know. But even putting that aside, like, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and be like, oh, they're popular and they like, you know, rebel against the system and have political points of view similar to mine. I'm like, honestly, they seem like degenerate humans treating women like crap. Sorry, that's just way outside of my values.
Grifting, rug pulling, crypto, like, you know, pimp.
Yeah,
there's a clip.
Crypto scams are fun too.
There's a clip of Tristan Tate saying something that I was like, and there's no coming. I want to.
Oh yeah, I think it's the one we're talking about, the young girl, the 17-year-old,
where he said, where he said that he's bragging about how the girl had a bunch of followers. He's like, yeah, he's like, she's 17. I was her first. He's like, I was her first, and he's like, it hurt her the whole time, but it felt good to me. So who gives a shit? And I was like, dead to me, like dead to me. There's nothing. You could offer me. There's nothing that could bring you back from that. Like we're never going to be cool. That saying that one time, that sentence, we're done.
It's kind of like if you piss in the beer, you piss in the whole beer. Like one drop of pee is enough to ruin the beer. And I mean, that's a drop of piss in the beer, metaphorically. If you ask me, that's like a
that's like a dump flag in the bear. It's like a taking a shit in.
It's not dissimilar as like, this is the example I talked with I've actually said this with Dubs and then Daddy Wells too, the same thing. I'm like, that dude saying that is just like equivalent if we were all at a nightclub and Danielle, when you went to the bathroom, he was like, hey man, I'm gonna stick something in her drink and then try to take it from her. It's like, you're dead to me. Like there's just like both of those things, the Tristan Tate thing, anything like that is like, there's no just absolute, complete and total lack of character.
I do have another topic I want to go to, and then maybe we can go to some of the super chats after. But everything that we just talked about, the women, the survivors, the accountability, it all comes back to one principle. When something happens to a human being, the truth, I feel, as an American, is owed to us, but specifically the truth is owed to them as a human being that's maybe been killed. Not to the politicians, not to the media, but really to them. And, you know, that principle doesn't change based on whose side the victim might be on, right? So, which is kind of why I want to move into this conversation, because there's another family, you know, there's a wife, there's kids, parents who are in a situation where the standard of truth needs to be demanded just as much as the Epstein survivors. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy around this family, but I'm talking about Charlie Kirk and the Tyler Robinson case. And I want to have this conversation with both of you because we just talked about survivors. And with respects to Erica Kirk and her family, you know, we still want to see the receipts and not just, apply judgment to Tyler Robinson right away, right? Because even though Erica Kirk seemed to have done that, I'm not about it. But what's been documented recently, you know, the ATF non-conclusive with bullet fragments, with their own forensics, state's evidence. Meanwhile, the FBI is now running a second test on the bullet-led analysis, which is obviously not good to do this type of thing that's already been thrown out over like 2 decades ago, I think. You've got the Washington County Sheriff's surveillance video from Robinson not having this footage of him turning himself in. They're not wanting to show certain things, which I understand, holding the integrity of the court before and not letting out certain information. But you've seen the media just slander Tyler Robinson and absolutely crush him when it comes to him being the shooter. And they have overwhelming evidence, which nobody has seen. So whether or not people are aligned with Erica Kirk or not, obviously she has been acting strange. It's very clear, but that's for her to work out, right? But the family, Charlie Kirk's parents, her, if she doesn't know, what happened. Hopefully she doesn't. I don't know if she does. Hopefully she doesn't, God forbid. But the kids as well. Tyler Robinson's family also deserves due process. The American people deserve to know what actually happened that day at Utah Valley. All of those things are important. And how do we as a country hold space for what seems to be not a grieving widow, but we don't know what her thoughts are? There's so much propaganda and then information and lies, it seems, that Candace has caught people in. Candace Owens caught Erica Kirk and Cheap USA. What does it tell you that some of the biggest voices in the media space, the ones who should be asking these questions about Charlie's true demise and how it actually happened, how do we muster the fact that they've either gone silent, media doesn't cover it, or they're criticizing all the people actually asking questions that matter?
No. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of layers to that entire thing, and I'm gonna I'll just avoid going super deep down one side. Here's what I would say about this entire thing is there's something very, very fishy going on, and I could take a dozen different directions that I could qualify that statement, but just on its face, you have a murder weapon that supposedly the dogs couldn't find, like bomb dogs couldn't find a recently fired rifle. It's supposedly a caliber that anyone who has any experience with ballistics knows would have decapitated Charlie. We tested this myself in heavy duty country. We first went out and shot basically every single, kind of normal off the rack 30-06, and we stacked much thicker meat than would be, like a human neck plus spine. Obliterated everything, not even remotely close. People's response was, oh, well, they're using they were frag or whatever you call it, like they break apart in the wall, and they're like, yeah, those are that's why. So I went online to try to find them, because first of all, like you have to have access to them. The only ones that existed to even purchase, I had to buy for $12 each, and they were from 1945. Okay,
jeez.
So we got those, brought them up to Dan's ranch, and as soon as we started shooting them, you could actually hear that the powder had degraded to where they were going probably 60% as fast as they originally were, and they're fragment rounds, and they still blew straight through anything that we shot them at. So right out of the gate, you're saying you have a verified, so how do you? That's like one of like 1,000 things that disqualify.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because this audio recording that Candace played yesterday.
Exactly. Yep. And then you got like the story of how this happened was the mom recognized Tyler Robinson from the suspect photos. Okay, well, everybody has eyes. Those photos do not appear to be of Tyler Robinson. They don't even really resemble him. They resemble a bunch of other suspects even more than they resemble him. So that makes no sense. The rifle being connected to him, that makes no sense. The fact that they call him and they're like, hey, do you have the grandpa's rifle, whatever. He supposedly confessed to the parents. And then this audio comes out yesterday that has multiple people in the family essentially saying, like, yeah, no, we don't think we think he's being framed. Like Elizabeth Lane.
Should I play it? I have it queued up right here if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. The grandfather is supposedly the owner of the rifle, and he supposedly confessed to his parents.
Oops. Let's all right, here, let's play this.
Go ahead. It's just at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Someone have a stash of favors. Oh, they did? A credit or
This was nice.
yeah. What are you guys for Tyler? What are you for Tyler or the other side?
Grandparents.
Oh, your grandparents? Oh,
I'm really sorry you're going through this.
yeah, it's tough for you guys.
Yeah, it sucks. Well, we're here to support them. So.
Yeah, we think your grandchild is absolutely brain, but I'm an investigative journalist, so.
Well, I do too.
She said, I think your grandchild was absolutely framed. Grandfather says, well, we think so too.
Yep.
And you would think if he confessed to his father, maybe dad and grandfather would have conversed about that at some point. Is that the kind of the premise of that small piece?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, if you think about like he supposedly confessed to the parents, parents then call the police officer friend of theirs, and he's going to take them in. Who in the family, after he confessed to the family, is going to say, oh yeah, we think he's being framed? Candace said from the very beginning, well, maybe like, I don't know, a week after the official story first came out, she's like, I have it on good authority that he absolutely did not confess to his family. There's no way to verify it one way or the other. But then fast forward, audio, that, at least from my perspective, that's about a 90% verification that what Candace said is accurate. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing
I don't know who this person is. Like, Danks, look at the chat and
yeah, I can't. I don't. It's on X, so I don't know how to get rid of them.
Oh,
It's
that's on
in
X?
either. It's not in mine. It might be on yours if you can block them.
it's not on mine.
It's not on yours.
Uh,
Somebody's on X stream.
Reaper, we're gonna ban you. Relax.
Yeah, Reaper193 keeps like messing with the chat. I'll check again in mine to see if it was on mine. But yeah, what I see
man,
there,
it might be on mine. I don't even know how to.
if you
deal with
click
it.
go to your logo on your X and just click it because you're live, it'll bring you right to your stream, and your chat will be there on the right. If you zoom out enough to see the chat.
Oh yeah, I could see. I mean, no,
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Mod action. Yeah, I don't have any either. It's strange. Interesting.
Wait,
Anyways,
you can't mod it on your side in StreamYard?
no, I right click it. I can't do anything. It won't. Like if I click, I can just show it, but that's all I can do. I can't get rid of it somehow. But anyways,
Well,
it's
cool.
only
Reaper,
you're the only ones that can really see it anyways. So
Reaper, wait. Oh, they can't. Oh, so
Yeah.
YouTube can't see it anyway.
no, YouTube.
Oh,
can't
all
see
right.
it.
So okay.
Just for us in the StreamYard.
Okay.
screw them.
Anyhow,
Jesse, I know you have on your channel, you've done a lot of deep dives into nitty-gritty details and irregularities in the case. And man, there's just so much. And, I'd say, like, if y'all haven't seen it, like, check out Jesse's channel. There's a lot. And, a thing that really strikes me, do y'all by chance know of a guy named Chase Hughes? He's kind of a mind control expert.
CIA guy. And
yeah. By the way, Sean Ryan did an excellent interview with him. It's on Sean Ryan's channel, Chase Hughes.
Yep.
A couple of weeks ago, I had a chance to meet with Chase Hughes. Fascinating guy, very knowledgeable. And what he talks about is so much, but one of the things is psyops. And how to tell when you're in a psyop. There's 3 things you have to look for. There's a consistent and persistent narrative. There's a censorship component, and there's a tribalism component. Mm-hmm. Tribalism component meaning like, hey, if you don't agree with us, you're cast aside. And what that can look like present day is you're smeared, character assassinated, whether it's like you're an anti-Semite or screw you, jerk, you're attacking a grieving widow.
Anti-science.
Yeah. There's some kind of ferocity that tries to cast you aside. When you look at what's going on with the Charlie Kirk case, there's absolutely a psyop. Mm-hmm. And the primary way to not be controlled by a psyop is to know that you're in it. Mm-hmm. So you look for the 3 characteristics: the narrative, the censorship component, and the tribalism component. The consistent, persistent narrative with Charlie Kirk is Tyler Robinson did it. FBI's got it covered. Case closed. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but that's the narrative. Mm-hmm. The censorship component is goes along with the tribalism. A lot of Charlie's closest friends online will attack other people for asking very sensible questions, raising very sensible irregularities that are seen, like, hey, no exit wound. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how Charlie was, Max Blumenthal put out an excellent article shortly after Charlie's death where he talked to Charlie's friend who said Charlie said, "I'm afraid Israel's going to kill me." Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how he had a phone call with Netanyahu? He refused $150 million to spew pro-Israel propaganda. Can we talk about how Turning Point USA Zionist donors were abandoning the cause and or putting pressure or even bullying Charlie to lay down, be pro-Israel? You're trying to back up, be pro-Israel, get rid of Tucker, get rid of Candace off all your stages. Speeches, they attempt to shut speech down when it comes to talking about those things. So, and you're also smeared. So there's the tribalism component. You're labeled something nasty. You're irredeemable. So the fact that there's objectively a psyop going on in the Charlie Kirk case makes me think the official narrative is not the reality of it. Not to mention, I'll just throw this tidbit in there because I think it's pretty meaningful. Joe Kent came out and said, yeah, at the National Counterterrorism Center, we had cause to investigate foreign involvement in his assassination, and the FBI shut us down.
Cash specifically.
Yeah, Cash shut it down, which, by the way, that's more censorship.
Yeah.
Massive censorship.
Yeah.
That's more meaningful censorship than censoring people online with insults or even, taking a video down. So there is 100% a psyop going on. And then, of course, when you get into hardcore details, like Jesse, you've been doing videos on, Candace is doing videos on, unquestionably something's going on. And Danks, I love how you frame this. To honor a person, you have to pursue truth in the name of that. And if it's even protecting the truth against Charlie's closest friends, so be it. Or potentially his wife, so be it, because the truth matters more, because Charlie matters more. And I also think it's just really a nasty look, raises suspicion when Charlie's closest friends, who were putting pressure on him, some say bullying, to be more pro-Israel, they're the ones online with the loudest voices, tearing people down for raising these questions. They're the ones cheering for Charlie's legacy and cheering for the Iran war, which Charlie could not have been more against. Something perverted is going on. I don't know
whether he was with Israel and all of that. That doesn't. He was against the war in general.
He was
right?
with America.
He was with
at
America.
the end of the day.
Yeah,
Charlie. There was no question about that. I have an immense amount of respect for Charlie, and I've always said throughout any of this, like I would always want to be doing right by him, and specifically because of the sequence of events that led him to be in a situation where, regardless of who did it, the suspicion that people in those positions would have done it. Because at the end of the day, as it relates to Charlie himself as a person, whether or not they actually did it, the reason that they had the motive is because Charlie refused to kneel or take back steps when it came to his principles, even in the face of unfathomable pressure, given the fact that he had built this gigantic organization. He took their money, like not knowingly, the way that I would, like, if Trump took their money recently going into this presidency, actually, that's not a good example. When Charlie's building his organization and he's taking money from donors who are very pro that group, especially with Charlie being a large Christian, like influencer is the wrong word, but Christianity is a big part of his life.
Yeah,
there are a lot of people who are very deeply tied into the pro-Israel movement who are also there, and so I don't fault him at all for raising money from these. These are the political actors, man. They're all over the place. And once you take somebody's money, man, they have a really, really they have the expectation that you wouldn't betray their principles. And in a situation where their principles have now crossed on top of Charlie's, and the thing that he was so dedicated to genuinely was the United States. And now what you guys are supporting is that's stepping on my main principle. And he didn't let that dissuade what he said, what he did. And there are very few people who have demonstrated that kind of courage that he did. You know what I mean? And so it's like, that's why I was very, very hesitant to even say anything about Erica for a very long time. I wouldn't even look at her, just because it's like, it's the wife and mother of his kids, man. I'm like, it's so that's why, and the other thing too, I just have a really hard time like getting to a place where I can live in a world where a group that tight would conspire to murder a guy that they love. Because I watched the night that Trump won, and you watch all of them, the dynamic of them together. I'm like, they love this guy, man.
JP, have you seen Jesse's theory on what he believes happened to Charlie Kirk?
I've done a couple.
No.
Like I did an entire series entertaining the idea that what's actually going on is TPUSA and all those guys, they did do it, but it's actually Charlie faking his death. When you actually look at the body of all the stuff I put together, it sounds insane, I'm sure. Actually, I know it does. But when you actually watch it sequentially, the way I've structured it, it's overwhelming that is a very, very real possibility. But at the same time, the thing that I put out today is about the possibility that Lance framed Tyler, because that's exactly where I was all along until I went the other way. And both things might be true. That's why when people started attacking Candace when she did the Mitch Snow thing, I was really nervous about putting this video out that I did then, but I kind of went on the offensive. I'm like, why is anybody attacking Candace? Why is anybody attacking anyone who's doing genuine, honest work to try to figure out what happened here? Because who cares if people are wrong? Like, it's an open source investigation, the first of its kind. And that video that I was so scared of, Jimmy Dore put it on, a bunch of huge people put that on their channels, and it ended up being like a huge benefit to the brand. But it's like, I don't have any problem with anybody floating any theories based on any amount of real evidence if their intentions are genuine. And I'm not going to fight with people if they think that something else happened, unless they're coming from a place of bad intentions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've entertained all of those things.
And, I think someone who models the Erica Kirk position pretty well is RFK Jr. His family members, his dad and his uncle were killed by lone gunmen.
Yeah.
The official narrative isn't good enough for RFK Jr. He has literally said, I think the CIA killed my uncle. So here's a person open-minded and just like, yeah, what they told me I'm supposed to believe, I don't believe it. So he's out there, I think, in this case, representing the position of a willingness to pursue truth and entertain possibilities, whereas the Andrew Clevitt or Andrew Clavicular, the new super charismatic face of TPUSA, shutting down conversations. It was a lone gunman. It's Tyler Robinson. We got him. Well, what about this? Well, screw you. She's a grieving widow. Don't bring that up. There's a big difference between how RFK Jr. is handling it and Andrew Clevitz and maybe Erica Kirk. And
I think RFK is actually, I was trying to think of someone else who represented what I was talking about with Charlie. And actually, RFK is actually a perfect example of someone who stood on business in principles in the face of like a lot of pressure the other way. When people don't know that, when people were slandering him, as he kind of became big in the vaccine research, position that he's in, and they're like, oh yeah, this guy's crazy. He's a whatever, yada, yada. And it's like, as soon as I would talk to them, I'm like, do you understand? Like, you know what he was doing and how he ended up getting into that type of research? He was the one lawyer that was holding all these corporations that were poisoning everybody with cancer. He was an environmental lawyer, and he kept on burying these corporations because he actually cared. And then he started looking into this particular sector that he's in right here with with these pharma companies that have total immunity from any type of liability if they kill people or they maim them or whatever. And he's just trying to shine a light. I don't know. I see a lot of similarities, RFK and Charlie in that regard. Also, two of my most respected people.
What I can't believe is that how quickly they came to Tyler Robinson, the video footage from Phil Lyman's family house. But not only that, a lot of people don't know this when I mention it.
The video, I'm sorry, go back one step. You said that video of him walking was Phil Lyman's house?
Yeah, the one that walked on the street in front of it was Phil Lyman's aunt's house, I think. I didn't know that. Yeah. He actually leaked that footage. I don't know if it was him, allegedly. But TMZ got that footage first, remember?
But they got it from Phil Lyman's family.
They got it from Phil Lyman's family's freaking house.
Yeah. Well, look at that.
And now, not only that, you've got Phil Lyman smirking and like doing this whole show with this kid preparing to go and be interviewed. And it's
he pointed directly at the leftists when he did his interview with Alex Jones. He told that story about the two girls black, and he's like, and they weren't scared, and they were like, "Fuck these people."
And also, all the people walking, like, if a 30-06 gets fired in that area, everyone's running. Like, everybody's running. The whole campus is going to go on lockdown. You're going to have sirens. You're going to have either sirens or alarms or notifications. The first notification to go out via text was like 88 minutes after the actual shot was taken, and it went out with a placeholder for the location. Insert location. This is where the shooter is. Be careful. Run, fight, hide. And then not only that, I found out
80
recently.
minutes afterwards?
88 minutes. Yeah. And also, not just that, I found out recently, I went through the Chief Long's grandma subpoena documents. It's 112 pages of Chief Long, the UVU police chief's correspondence. And it says that first thing is at 2:35 p.m. on the 9th, the day before, someone was reaching out to the police chief to get a message to Charlie Kirk. And then later that night at 10:35 p.m., two people claiming to be GOP representatives or senators wanted to talk to police about a plan. And
I was trying to go light. I didn't want to throw too much at JP before he's seen the series. You know what I mean? It's like he's just gonna think we're fucking batshit, you know. But
I mean, I'm with y'all.
But then you've got people, one trying to either warn or get a hold of Charlie. Then you've got two people and claiming to know something about a plan. And then correspondence, it says they're acting like they know more than they did regarding the plan. And then they were like, makes sense. And it's like, what plan? And why isn't anybody asking these questions? It's like, what the fuck is going on? You know, like,
have you seen the Snake Eyes the movie Snake Eyes connection to the assassination?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so check this out. So the movie Snake Eyes, the Brian De Palma movie from 1998, starring Nicolas Cage and Gary Sinise. So in this movie, Gary Sinise is I think he's a military colonel, and there is a Secretary of Defense whose name is Charles Kirkland. Okay, and they're at this big, huge live audience event. Which happens on September 10th in the movie, and it's a boxing match. One of the boxers in the fight, his name is Tyler the Executioner, and what happens is an assassin kills Charles Kirkland and shoots him directly in the neck, literally. If you took a sticker on where he gets shot and put a sticker on where Charlie Kirk got shot, absolutely identical spot. And there's also a thing where the blonde main character is wearing the exact same pantsuit that Erica Kirk wears in her next two appearances. But
that's wild.
Check this out. And Stacey Sheridan, who's an TPUSA inner circle, inner circle. I think she led all the fundraising. She co-founded the Gary Sinise Foundation and Gary Sinise is the best support, the supporting actor with Nicolas Cage in that movie. And so you're kind of left with like, what the fuck what does that mean? Like how, when I first heard about it, I was like, okay, I'm in a simulation for sure. I'm like, this is impossible. It has to be a simulation of some kind, because how that movie's from 1998,
wild. And like, what do you do with that other than just kind of like scream at the wall?
That's what I did for a while.
But that's wild. As you bring that up, I saw little snippets of that before, and I didn't recall I saw that until you brought it up and brought more details into it. And I think the first time I saw some of that, it was just like so wild. I didn't have a place in my brain. I mean, as weirdly potent as that is, you'd think it'd be relevant, but I'm just like, no placeholder. So out of my brain it goes.
Yep.
It's this right
That's
here.
exactly how I felt. I'm like, I have
Maybe it is. Maybe we are in a simulation. Like, I don't know.
Well, I have another theory now, but yeah,
I'm gonna play this and see if for anyone who hasn't
Reason
seen
number
I haven't seen this one yet.
You haven't seen it.
What if I told you the whole Charlie Kirk tragedy already happened exactly 27 years ago? This is gonna freak your mind. So there's a movie from 1998 called Snake Eyes, starring Nicolas Cage, in which a political figure named Charles Kirkland,
look at the outfit,
name in the movie, gets by a sniper in the neck in the exact same spot as Charlie Kirk at a public event. Now, in the opening scene of the movie, there's a sign for this event that shows us it also took place on September 10th, the same day it happened, during a boxing event headlined by a boxer named Tyler the Executioner. Tyler Robinson is being accused of committing the execution in real life. During the scene, Cage is heard asking about his lucky number, while we see someone holding up a giant 7. Recently, Elon Musk announced that every spacecraft launched in 2026 will bear the number 77 as a tribute.
I didn't know that.
Wait, I didn't know that either.
Wow. Elon Musk announces every 2026 SpaceX launch will honor Charlie Kirk with number 7.
Why is 7 connected to Charlie Kirk? Let me actually just verify. Larry, keep going. Let me verify that that's true.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Charlie Kirk. Why 77? I don't know. Maybe someone can tell me. If it wasn't obvious enough, there's also this massive all-seeing eye on a blimp or something watching the entire sequence of events go down. That's because the movie is called Snake Eyes, and 2025 also happens to be the year of the snake. Promotional posters for the film feature the tagline, "Believe everything except your eyes." Oh, and it was also filmed in the Trump Hotel in Atlantic City. Believe everything except your eyes. I don't even know how else anyone could possibly explain this. Simulation confirmed.
Yeah, that's
wild. So I just looked and I see this on Twitter or X that the 77 thing is real. But check this out. Something that I found out after I had already covered it that one of my friends sent me is the end of this movie ends kind of like unceremoniously, but there was a different original ending to this movie. And this whole thing is happening during it. There's a bunch of other stuff. I was like, God, I know there's more to this, dude. Okay. So there's also a hurricane that's going on during the entire event in the movie. And it's called Hurricane Jezebel. And there's that story that a week before Charlie was killed in the online magazine Jezebel, they told that story about the 3 witches cursing Charlie Kirk. So you got another Jezebel. Also, Candace then
Erica made a statement on that, actually.
Yeah, no, they did. It was a big story. Candace, though, later on, maybe, I don't know, 6-8 weeks ago, uncovered the fact that Jezebel magazine had actually only been created 4 months before September, and the underlying LLC also was brand new. It just screamed intelligence, right? So that's the Jezebel thing. And the Hurricane Jezebel in the movie is this, it essentially is a character, right? The original ending to this movie, it was written with biblical undertones, and what ended up happening in the beginning that they ended up scrapping because test audiences hated it was the hurricane ended up like coming in and like washing away the entire stadium and like everybody dies, and it was meant to represent like a something so corrupt that the only way that you could start fresh is if God just wiped it off of the map so that you could start fresh. That was the original idea for the ending. It didn't test well, so they went with a different ending. But I thought about that as I, obviously was kind of trying to understand how I put all these pieces together. And that ending, if this was a gigantic psyop that Charlie put into motion, that ending would lead directly into what I believe was part of his underlying motive. But it's not here nor there. I don't even want to get into the Charlie's alive stuff. But that Snake Eyes thing is just even if they did plan it to make that is just it's
and
so
the names, the Trump Tower, the Tyler the Executioner, Charles Kirkland,
9,
the dress
10.
that she wore, the white dress. I mean, it's like tit for tat, almost same, just different ways.
There's also a scene when they do where Nicolas Cage is walking through the boxing match, and then when you stop, there are two guys wearing jerseys, and one of them is number 9, and one of them is wearing number 10. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't have anything to add. I just want to make noises. Just like
the whole time his mouth is like,
yeah.
What's going
It's just a brain melter. You're like, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, just
I
we've gone back and forth for probably you could add 24 hours to our timeline of talking together about like what the hell is this? From the finances, to the Scott Bessent signing this letter the next day. I mean, there's so much.
Wait. Oh, are you talking Salem Media?
No. I'm talking about when Erica Kirk requested the investigate. Are we under investigation? Scott Bessent sent back a letter the very next day. I mean, there's just so many things.
I forgot about that, dude.
I mean, and that's when you started coming up with your theory,
JP, do you know what he's talking about with this? Where the investigate are we under investigation? And the Secretary of the Treasury said so when the suspicion started on TPUSA, they made a statement. They requested something like, hey, are we under investigation? And the Secretary of the Treasury sent a signed document to TPUSA stating, no, you are not under investigation, and signed it. I was like, if you don't understand what kind of political
24
juice,
hours.
Yeah, 24 hours. That's how much political juice these guys have. The Secretary of the Treasury, hey, we're not under investigation, are we? It's like, no, you're not. Here you go. Signed, Secretary of the Treasury. It's like, whoa.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy.
Man, that's fascinating. If I have an open mind, now I don't think this is probable, but I'll just add this to the conversation. In an effort to have an open mind, I'll just say when the courtroom stuff plays out in the case against Tyler Robinson, if things are revealed like, oh shoot, the FBI had all this stuff we didn't know about, they couldn't keep it, they couldn't release it for their court reasons, and it's just shadow of a doubt, I'm convinced, oh yeah, Tyler Robinson definitely was the lone gunman, I'll be committed to coming out and say, yeah, I was wrong. I was really suspicious, had a lot of confirmation bias. I was wrong. So if that happens, I just want to say I'm committed to owning I was wrong. And in the meantime, if that never happens, which I don't think it will, man, I think in the name of honoring someone's legacy by exposing the truth of their end of life, because we're only born with 3 guarantees: birth, death, and taxes. So your death is a very meaningful part of life. And, I might just be making this up, but I wouldn't be surprised if, someone's soul, before it can really leave, go into heaven, whatever the GPS coordinates of heaven are, but there might need to be a certain release for them to happen, because people seem to have this intuitive, I need to find out the truth of what happened to my loved ones. Mm-hmm. Like Pat Tillman's mom, for example. Pat Tillman, just to refresh everybody, had a great contract. He was in the NFL. 9/11 happened. We probably all have some opinions on 9/11, but nonetheless, it happened. He left the NFL, became an Army Ranger. He wanted to serve his country. He was in Afghanistan, and he was killed in the line of duty. So the narrative was enemy was on the hill. He charged up the hill, took bullets, and that was the story. But that's not what really happened. So Pat Tillman's mom has been on a mission for over 20 years to find out the truth of her son. And it's come out like he was killed by friendly fire. It was irresponsible leadership. Many mistakes were made, and it was an accident, but he was killed by friendly fire. She worked tirelessly for over 20 years and then got the help of some like really higher up military people that weren't in it for political reasons, but they wanted to help her. Therefore, they were after truth. So I just share that because like that mother, Pat Tillman's mom, just knew I need to find the truth of what happened to my son. Worked tirelessly for 20 years to find out. She needed that closure, and maybe her son's soul needed her to have that closure before he could be free for all of eternity into heaven. And here we are with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
I read I might have even read two of those books. Like I know I read the Krakauer one, and then Boots on the Ground at Dusk, I think, is the one that his mom wrote. That story was one of those things in reading it where I realized I was much younger when I read it, and I was like, man, I don't stand for shit. Like I'm not a person who lives with principles at the center of my life, and this is a better person than me. You know, like I remember that. Like I remember reading that and just, you know, it was, I don't know, third of the way through the book, and I was like, I need to figure out what's important to me and be a lot more like this guy. It was before I had kids. You know, when you have kids, that helps center, especially like I think like a man, it helps, especially like people like us, it'll center you and make your life mean a lot more to you than it did before. But man, that guy, I mean, Tillman, you know, it just for people watching, you might have a tough time with his lack of faith in I don't know, in the church and afterlife, but just in terms of what he was doing with himself while he was here, it's a lot of respect to him and his mom. And his mom's you know, I mean, that she's probably why he was the way that he was, if that's who raised him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna I've kept you guys a long time. Want to power through these super chats and wrap it up here. Maybe there's some good questions or insights, and to honor some of the people here giving tips for everybody on all three of our accounts. Let's go ahead and run through these, and then we'll wrap it up. Nurse Kate, hey guys, I love all the gingers. Hey, not Benny.
Benny Johnson's wife. What's up, Nurse Kate?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hey, you know, I like my silver fox. You know, I roll with it. I've had it since I was 21. Oh, that was from Valhalla. Thanks, Valhalla.
Oh man, we're way behind on the chats.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
texting with him.
I'm gonna try
to
run through these. EDC, do any of you watch Adam Green? No More News. I haven't heard of it.
Nope.
YouTube algorithm from Christopher Gracie, $5. YouTube algorithm can't handle that I'm an anti-Izzy first, but not a raging leftist. Interesting.
Yeah,
all right.
Very confusing to the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. This one's Jeffrey Knox, Canada, $5. JP, big fan from Canada. You are awesome.
Jeffrey, thank you, brother.
Thanks for the super. Christy, what's up? I'm here because of Jesse, so thanks. Can't we use alternate sources for energy like trash and plastics? My religious leader is Jesus, and we killed him.
Christy, thank you very much, and hopefully you got a good look at both of these guys because you'll love their stuff too. They are not going to come out with energy sources that we can use trash to. I mean, like they're going to do a lot to protect this, you know, this paradigm, because that's where all of their power comes from.
The wealth and power and all that, unfortunately. Yeah, but I wish, you know. Thanks for donating on behalf of the mods, Christy. Got some members. Lori, thank you. Thank you for the gift memberships. Say thank you to Anna. Thank you very much. Lori says, keep speaking the truth. Excellent job, guys. That's what we're here for. Absolutely. Real tea with Krista Marie. $5, Alexa, but he's a nice, good guy. Sure, real stand-up guy. Wink, wink. Real stand-up guy. What do you?
Real tea with Krista Marie. That sounds like that's a channel. Let me.
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
I think she's referencing Alexa Cash Patel.
No, I know, but her name is the Real Tea with Krista Marie. I'm seeing if that's a YouTube channel. You know what I mean?
Sounds like it. Yeah.
JP calls her Alexis. I've heard of a couple.
Oh, I called her Alexa.
No, JP did.
My bad.
What's her actual stupid name?
Real
Alexis.
IT
Alexis.
With
Cash.
Real tea. Reality with Krista Marie.
I was right.
Clever.
I was right. She got 31,000 subscribers. I feel pretty good about that call right there, dude.
Big ups. Hey, you can tell, huh? I like that, bro. Jesse's one of the smartest guys, man.
Jesse, you're really walking out on a limb. Like, that's literally her username on YouTube.
I know.
You're like, I bet she has a channel.
I bet you have Real Tea with Krista Marie. It's like, that's clever if she doesn't have a channel.
I mean, I think everybody has to have a channel in order to put
Jesse,
this.
that'd be like looking at someone's Twitter handle and be like, I bet they have Twitter.
Yeah.
You are an investigator of all investigators, brother.
Dude, I should stop talking and just stick to like doing just stone research with those skills.
That's a good one. No, she's got 30,000 followers. A little different than just being a fan. You know, it's cool. Hey, thanks for joining us. Reality. Broken Simulation. 29 months. Is that you, Jesse? Jeez,
wait,
bro.
What? Oh, yeah.
Member for 29 months. That's loyalty, bro. Yeah. 3 of my favorite American First commentators. Not too many of you guys left that actually have principles that are set in stone. Thanks for not selling out. Yeah, you could say that again.
Gotta stand for something.
Appreciate you. Yeah, gotta stand for something. Jamie Severe. Hey, Jesse.
What's
You're
up, Jamie?
amazing. And because of you, and finally feels like media isn't just propaganda. Keep doing what you're doing. Also, like your cut, G.
Thank you. I was just texting with you.
Make it about Jesus. Jesus is king. Christ is king. It's Jesus is the Lord and Savior. You know, I just think that we just should be good to people and follow a godly lifestyle and try to help other people. You know,
and if anybody tells you that like it's because of Christianity that you should green light murdering a bunch of people, I feel like they are misunderstanding what that is supposed to be.
There's a little bit of propaganda there, I would say, from the Schofield Bible and all that. All right, so how about we all just love God and not fight over profits? I like it. Thank you. It helps to study and review logical fallacies.
So I was just talking about that with someone recently. Is that I feel like that this is in my I've been having this conversation in email with this person, I think.
What are logical fallacies? Let's see. Logical fallacies are errors in reasoning that make an argument invalid or misleading, even when the argument sounds convincing on the surface. They're the tricks of the trade and propaganda, bad faith debate, and tribal media, which is exactly why understanding them is one of the highest leverage skills you can have in what we do. Interesting. Thank you.
JP, before I forget, speaking of your moon landing skit has been the one, do you know how many people I've sent that to in my life? Because YouTube scrubbed the entire internet, and Google and YouTube scrubbed the entire internet of any evidence of fake moon landing, except you beat him with sarcasm, dude. And I'm like, look, just pretend that he's not joking and he's serious for all of the stuff he's talking about on the moon landing. And I'm like, there you go. It's the only one left.
Bro, I got to say, JP, you gave me a lot of credit up front. I want to give it to you now, is that your content, the way you go about it, is so epically spot on and hilarious. And it's something that I got to tell you, I look forward to every time I see it. A lot of people in my community also feel the same way, and a lot of people online do. And you are a critical person in our like social media atmosphere, and like what you do is so important, especially for me and to my family and like everybody that watches around. It's just, I just want to say what you do is important, man. And I love your work. And I just couldn't state it enough. It's needed, and it helps me remember that sometimes the stuff isn't so serious, and it needs to just, we need to all kind of get along. I don't know. It's like this combination of like just greatness, man. And I love it, dude.
I love your channel too. My wife actually reminded me when I was going up, I was like, oh, hey, I'm going to stream with Danks. And I'm like, and JP Sears. She's like, remember when we first moved to Texas, we went to his live show. I was like, that's right. We went to one of your shows like 5 years ago.
You do live?
First moved here. Like we had been here for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
and you
wow.
were playing one of those places in Austin. We went. Yeah.
Right on.
You do live streaming and stuff, or live stand-up?
Yeah, the past 8 years, I've toured all over the country doing stand-up comedy. No longer doing that, just listening to my heart. I made a decision about a year ago. 2025 is going to be my last year doing it. Just my priorities have changed. Being home with my family, I have a 4-month-old, but even before I learned my beautiful lady's pregnant, it was just very clear to me that's been great. Time to let a great thing go. That cup feels filled. Just being on the road constantly just served me for a while, but moved on. But man, yeah, I had the time of my life doing, I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of live comedy shows all over the country. Yeah, that was just a real joy.
Oh, I bet.
We
That's
enjoyed
awesome.
ourselves.
I'm gonna go see Jimmy Dore on the 7th in Burbank.
I had tickets to see him in San Antonio and forgot.
Oh no!
I forgot.
Oh.
Yeah. Embarrassing.
I'm gonna keep going through these. You have repeat comments. Thanks for all the advice, guys. Absolutely, that's why we're here. Stacy Noble, love the wisdom, knowledge, and encouragement you three are sharing with us peons. I appreciate all three of you guys. Did you see that David Wilcock died allegedly by self-termination? Smells sus.
Wait, who's David Wilcock?
David Wilcock. I don't know who.
I'll look it up. Keep going.
David Wilcox. Yeah. Okay. Amen, brother. Well said. XRP to the moon. Oh my gosh.
Come on.
Moon boys, baby.
Another he's a American paranormal writer, media personality. I recognize his face. He's like a UFO guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot of them are vanishing, aren't
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just, if anyone wants to see, I'll just put it up here real quick. This guy. I don't know who he is. Folk musician, American. All right. Let me keep going through here. Where are we at? Well said, brother. This was all easy to predict. This was all easy to predict. They're following a script. It's just like Dune. Sometimes, I'm curious. I haven't asked either one of you guys. Do you think that we live in like some sort of simulation or like some controlled system or anything like that?
Very complicated question, but
it's not to get too deep, but like, or do you believe like, I don't know. I'm just curious because it does feel like sometimes we're in a weird matrix, right?
I mean, people believe in many, 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 many different versions of reality, which would, I think that like, I think if we understood the true nature of our reality, I think it's so far beyond what we can understand as humans. But I mean, the only way to answer that is yes, but there's a lot more to it than just like, it's not like, I don't think I'm just in like some, like a VR headset or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I have no certainty. It's something I've become open like that might be, but I really don't know. And I also don't want it to be true. It just seems like life would have more meaning if it's not true, but maybe that's not even true. So
interesting.
I don't know.
I like think what we do matters a lot.
Yeah.
Like what we do really matters. Yeah.
I
have a relationship. Whatever's going on up there has made itself very, very, very clear that it is there and will interact with me when it's necessary.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've had some incredible experience. I should not be alive. For many of you, people don't know. I mean, I was a heroin addict. I was homeless on the street. I had overdosed multiple times. I'd been in and out of jail for the first 20 years of my life, like up until almost 30, you know, and it's just, I am super blessed with the family and the businesses that I have now and the friends that I have and the community. I'm just super blessed. Yeah. I mean, we have an amazing life. We easily see they erase history of atrocity. Thank you, Jesse. Great guest, Jesse.
Thank you very much.
What's up, Jesse?
What's
Bro,
up,
you
driving
big fans
faster?
over here, bro.
What's up, dude?
I'm driving faster. Became a YouTube member. What the fuck? Nice name. Shay Watson. If only they would put some of the energy of the files that have access to my kids and getting away with it. There's a lot more of them than there are e-pervs.
Yeah.
I want justice for my family. Hey.
One thing that I just want to say on this, because we were talking about the sociopaths and like the tribal stuff, is that I meant to say this is the current state of the world. Being a psychopath is actually very beneficial in certain types of jobs. And they happen to be the kinds of jobs that will catapult you to the top of society now. If you're in investment banking, if you're in government and you have no ethics whatsoever. And I think that's why so many of them end up in those situations, you know, with each other. And they're like, hey, you want to go eat a baby? Let's go eat a fucking baby.
Jesus Christ. God. Capitalistic mindset. Hey, if you want to be rich, become a sociopath. You'll be rich.
No, don't.
Nice messaging, Jesse. Thanks again.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm
Yeah.
fucking messing with you, bro. Christy, thank you. Zawakian, may his grace surround and abound with each of you. Godspeed. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Or broette. Coincidentally, Candace is continuously correct. Bro, me and Jesse have talked a lot about Candace, and like, I think it comes down to the fact that she's also just very, and Jesse told me, he's like, bro, she's just very convincing. Like, she could be wrong and still convince everyone that she's right.
She is fearsome, man.
She is.
I always call her. She's a dragon, man. You don't want to be on the wrong side of that fucking dragon ever.
No, I don't think you would be.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I will stay far away from that. Speaking of pedos, former instructor at Florida Tech arrested for child videos with infants on their phone. How do people get this sick?
Yeah, there's a stat. It's a pretty widely accepted statistic that with the abusers that you speak of, 95% of them were abused as children. And that's how they become that. Psychologically, they fuse with the perpetrator. That kind of creates a part of their mind. And of course, they fuse with themselves as the victim. So apparently 95% of perpetrators were once victims. And you don't want to weaponize compassion and be like, well, I understand, that's okay. It's like, well, they're infected, and
there's a lot of people
shame that
victims
happened
that
to
don't
them,
do that.
and there is no excuse for them becoming a perpetrator. Even though we understand kind of how it happens, there is just no room in society for that.
I totally agree with that. My brother's wife works very closely with victims. Like she's the medical side of the criminal cases. She works with the DA, and like she works at, and she says that a lot. I'm like, do you ever struggle with like having compassion for the people who perpetrate when you know that like that you're and she does actually. She says she has a hard time with that sometimes, but she gets the job done. She's like an actual. I have a ton of respect for her. It's a fucking tough job what she does, and she just puts her head down and does it to get justice for these kids, you know?
Yeah.
Thanks for the super chat, Stacy, Scotty Ellison, yo, Jesse.
What's up,
video
dog?
you posted earlier with Mr. Twig and Barry.
Kyle.
Wearing the backpack from the photos of him going to the rooftop in cell phone video.
Wait, okay, so Lance Twigs, the video you posted with Mr. Is wearing the backpack from the photos of him going to the rooftop in a cell phone. No shit. My man, dude. I will go look at that.
Jesse's on it. The MSJ podcast. Candace Owens dropping Maj receipts today. Revealed by Nice that the back shot of Charlie was altered. Love you all. I too left Cali because of Vax. Produced 2 films with Andy Wakefield. Worked with RFK Jr.
Oh my God, my wife, Dr. Wakefield is he's a hero around here in my household.
Wow. Thanks for the super chat. Hey y'all from East Tennessee. Watch all of you. CO, Baron Coleman, but JP, you are the GOAT.
Agree.
All my I will not comply merch. Stay strong, leaders. We need you. Hey.
That's amazing. Thank you for the compliment. That's a promotion.
That is
Great. I'll take it.
I like it. Please weigh in. Project Constitution 419 live shows Charlie's stomach / chest 2x2 inch square bruise, burns, lots of blood, shape charge, and road mic.
Live shows Charlie's stomach / chest.
They did a show yesterday, the day before, and it was live and shows this information. I'll make a note.
Yeah, I've seen stuff. The bruising or the mark or the burn on Charlie's chest that correlates with the exploding mic theory, which then correlates to the company that makes those, them having, a sale on record, and then that company literally burning down and exploding after Charlie's death. But yeah, that's interesting too.
What happened with that situation is Baron Coleman went out and they ended up investigating, finding information that there has been a purchase for $400,000 or so at that Tennessee location of manufacturing small weapons. And that place, 2 weeks after he aired that episode, he even got it down to where I think it was allegedly Bush Hibbs took a private flight or a domestic flight to that city and like super detailed. And then 2 weeks later, that place goes up in smoke. So
a lot of coincidences in the case.
I'm looking at Project Constitution's X now, and he's got this. He's got the video of them potentially editing the back shot footage. I'll watch all of this after this, and I'll make videos.
We'll check it out. Thanks for that, Cheyenne. New member Grams Donna, welcome. Thanks for the super sticker. Driving faster, more driving fast. Why are we so addicted to this conspiracy, Charlie Kirk? Because deep down in our hearts, we all know this is not right. Well said. Yeah, I mean, we like it could happen to any one of us, man. Charlie Kirk happens to be a speaker, but on the opposite side, you've got Tyler Robinson, and they say reasonable doubt as if they could speak their way to a conviction, and it could happen to any one of us again, right? An American citizen was plotted, conspiratorially taken out and murdered. And now it looks like we have no true information at all from the very beginning, from the rooftop and the screwdriver to the courthouse and the lawyers that are in on federal paperwork. It's like everything has been manufactured, it feels to me, so of course, and then everything in between. You've got not one shedded authentic tear, in my opinion, from anybody close to Charlie.
Not your opinion, just no authentic tears. But at least in public, they're on camera a lot. None.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Erica Kirk showing up on video 6 days later, like laughing about a puppy on a screen when she's talking about funding for the memorial of her husband. How freaking crazy is that,
dude?
Bro? I mean,
talking about I wouldn't be able to, if someone that close to me died, I wouldn't be able to talk about it for 3 sentences right now without breaking down. All of them are talking about Charlie all the time publicly. They never break down, no tears. It's very, very bizarre behavior.
Personally, I would have zero willingness to perform any work task for a long time, let alone a work task of facing a camera, being on a stage. I can only speak for me. I would have no willingness, probably no ability, but certainly no willingness to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I will.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
I don't know.
think that's why when it came out, it was like Erica Kirk, his wife, is going to do a speech. That's why the whole world watched, because everyone was like, "What?"
Yeah,
Like,
it was surprising. Like,
that's
oh
a-
wow,
I mean, yeah.
wow.
And then they'll let the whole world see it and it just go unfiltered like that. And then obviously Candace amplifying the whole story. That she's not going to let up. I don't, she said,
No.
she literally said she's not, until they find the truth, I'm not stopping. That's what she said. So
That's one of the attacks on Candace that really pisses me off, when they're like, and she immediately was attacking Erica. I'm like, no, that's not true. Like,
Right.
after the memorial, Candace, I remember this distinctly, because she referenced herself as a dragon. And I was like, she's like, because I was over there like a dragon just waiting for Erica to let loose, and I was going to swoop down and just burn everybody down. And I was like, all right, because like she wanted to do right by Charlie. That's not where this thing started. You know, they kept lying to her. That's why.
Yep, absolutely. Snake Eyes Wide Shut. Thanks for the $2 Mountain Stars again. Good to see you.
Snake Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah.
Ethan, Tyler caused a distraction in the movie too. Oh, I didn't know that.
What's up, Ethan? Yeah, he did. He got fake knocked out.
Oh, okay. Interesting. They live in Snake Eyes Wide Shut, 3-3 and me, etc. Thank you. Jesse, read my message I just sent. It all matches. Jamie Severe.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Draco Boss, $20. Thank you. Would you guys be interested in digging into the Cybertruck bomber and his connection to the missing UFO people? And should we save that for another night? Probably for another night.
Save for another night, but yes, I'm in the process of kind of
There's
starting to dig around that.
There's definitely interesting things around that. There's lots of interesting topics we could discuss for sure. Thanks for the 20. Please like and share. Thank you. More, man, you drive fast around here, bro. I can't wrap my mind around the fact that they set up a tent similar, like, oh man, it's crazy.
Setting
it like the
one
ones
Charlie outside in
unalived to take selfies. How crazy, bro.
Very
I mean,
weird.
every step of the way. You can't make this shit up, man. Police reports prove BK innocent. Police reports prove BK
is innocent.
Innocent. Court 100% lied. Blake, no, who's BK? EK maybe? I don't know.
You mean Tyler Robinson or
maybe?
I don't know.
Thanks for the member, JR Nana Boomer. Jesse, look at my last text. Oh my gosh, bro. We create our own version of reality ourselves. We are creating and controlling our own simulation from our highest self. In my opinion, that's from your favorite Reality with Krista Marie.
Damn.
She's got some.
No,
wisdom.
I mean, yeah, I am on board with essentially law of attraction. I believe is 100% real. If you believe something, that tends to be what happens.
Reality with Christy Marie. So let's see what we got here. Reality with Krista Marie. So Real Housewives, Streamers, Technical Nightmare, Crazy Life. Okay, all right. You on there, girl. I wanted to see what kind of content you got. All right. Eric here from F35. What's up, Eric? Maybe life is only real when on a psychedelic. Haha, or is it? Life seems more twisted and unreal day to day. Christ is king. Yeah. I'll tell you what, my DMT trip seemed very real. And it was a little bit insane. I told Jesse about it. And Jesse made a great video.
That's not a good that's like
that's but either way.
It's like what you did is not an example that matters to anybody like considering doing it, because
it was a one-off. Yeah, I died and went to hell on DMT. It was wild.
He accidentally took 25 times too much.
Yeah, it was dark, and it was dark. I'll just say it was dark. JP, my husband and I have been fans for years. We love you and appreciate all you did then and do now. Can you shout out Michelle and Tom OG fans, please? And thank you. God bless you all. Best live of 2026. Best live.
Right on. Michelle and Tom, absolutely. I can shout y'all out. Thank you for the support. the kind message, the tip. That's amazing. So Michelle and Tom, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being OG fans. You've been with me through many iterations of myself and what's important to me. So I appreciate y'all being along for the ride.
Hey, thanks for being here. I'm driving faster, man. You're gonna make my car spin out of control. Thanks for the super sticker. Reality with Krista Marie. Thanks. Me too, friend. Clean date 12/22. No way. My clean date is 12/22/2000 and 2000 and is it 2012? It's 2012, bro. 12/12/12. 12/22/12. That was the day that I got sent to Florida to go to rehab, and that was the last time I used heroin.
Wait, 12 what? 12?
The day before 12/22/2012. That
Dude,
is so wild. That's
12. I
my
have
day.
12/1/2012 tattooed right there.
Wow.
We were 3 weeks
No
off,
way.
dude, although that had nothing to do with sobriety. So, but
Yeah, no. That is, I've never, that is so wild. I don't keep track of my days because I'm not in a program or anything like that. But hey, so they said I've overdosed fatally that night 2 times in prison, all same 22 years until then. That night, congrats, for real, for real. Hey, God bless you. That's incredible, man. I'm happy to hear it, and that's amazing. You have my same date. Seaside, please keep up collaboration, so helpful and informative. Thanks for what all three of you contribute. Nice to see you all at once with different takes. Yeah, it's cool to see. Jesse and I, we do lives all the time. I don't know if JP does lives very often, but it's cool to see this side of him.
JP, do you do a lot of live streams?
No, not currently. I'm enjoying the hell out of this. I would love to do more. I had a deal with Rumble up until maybe end of 2025. I was doing a weekly live stream exclusive on Rumble, and we didn't renew with them. So I guess first quarter of this year, I've just been flying, haven't done a single live stream. So this is refreshing. So, and I know given you guys are on here quite a bit, I'm very grateful that y'all invited me into the fray. And lastly, I'll say, and I know there's more super chats. What I think one of the challenges, Danks, you and I were texting about this, is you can easily get in an echo chamber, and it's like, that's cool. And I realize for the most part, there is an echo chamber here tonight, but there's also something different. Thanks when you're sharing like your expertise, Jesse, you're sharing your expertise. I'm getting different perspectives. Now we might agree on like the overarching view, but I love learning. I love having my mind expanded. And certainly I welcome disagreements. So for me, one of the higher joys is like hearing from you guys ways of looking at specific topic that I haven't looked at before, I haven't considered. So I personally just love bringing three minds in together. And instead of it just being an echo chamber, it's like, oh no, this is a place of learning and thought expansion.
I agree. And I love doing streams with other creators because like we were saying in text, the coolest part of this job is that I watch people's channels and I'm like, man, I love that guy. And now I can end up, it's like, I think I'd like to be friends with that guy. Now we are. Like we stream with Valhalla all the time. I stream with JD Delay all the time, Dubs, and like Heavy Duty Country. Me and Dan were supposed to play golf today, but we got rained out, thunderstorm, and it's the best, man. It's the best.
I told Jesse, I was like, I think Heavy Duty Country is probably a big teddy bear. He's like, no,
he's not.
The real deal.
He hates everybody except me. Yeah. He is not a teddy bear at all. Most of them are. He's not.
Yeah, but no, you're JP. I'm the same, bro. I love learning and getting to hear other perspectives, and this is a great way to do it. I usually I'm a big believer in growing my platform independently. A lot of people end up getting stuck in this collab lifestyle always, and so fortunately I was able to stay away from that and then grow to at least a decent size to where other people would want to come on the show, and I'm not forcing myself onto other people's channel. I never asked. I've known Jesse since before this channel had done anything. I never, I didn't want to take advantage. I think it's important to have our own voice, and then we come together and we get to pick each other's brains and disagree and agree and different perspectives. So I'm grateful to have that, and also be having both of you as confidants, friends, and working together in the space. So
I asked, I never asked to go on people's shows. And today I asked Julian Dory if he wants to have me on because of the Ibogaine thing that Rogan's doing. I'm like, I would love to come on and talk about my experience doing that, because most people don't talk about it. And it's like, I'll vomit my entire life on that stuff because so many people respond to me when I do. Like today's video, when I talked about it, dude, and to anybody who's reached out, I apologize for not responding. If I haven't, there's been a lot of response.
What you were saying, I was listening to your show earlier about the Ibogaine stuff, and I happened to, on Sunday, I did a live stream. I just started feeling better, and I was watching PBD and the Tucker thing, and then somewhere out of nowhere, I started just telling my story about how I've came and how I was on heroin and how I've been a millionaire twice and broke, and like my life has been so crazy. But the overarching theme here is that we have the ability to be great no matter how much destruction we've done in our lives to ourselves and to the people around us. If you really want to be great and you want to believe in something that's more than important than yourself. Because now that I started putting other people first, my family, God, and like the things that God wants to see in this planet, that is when I started seeing a major difference in myself, as opposed to trying to enrich myself. I can go and make a crypto coin and get rich probably if I now, with a following this on 50,000 with 2 platforms, you combine it, I'm sure I could go make a couple $1,000,000 in a weekend, but I don't do it. And I'm a developer, you know what I mean? But it's because it's not about that for me anymore. It's about doing things that enrich people's lives in more ways than just money. And then through that, my life becomes better, you know? So that's kind of how and the reason I mentioned that is because I got overwhelming feedback and DMs and comments that were people were saying like, you have no idea. You came to at the right time in my feed where I was just thinking about going back out and using drugs again. And your live stream came on and I watched it and you said all this stuff. And I went for like an hour talking about it. And so those are the things that I was warned by old friends in the past, like, don't talk about your stuff. You talk about political things and finance, but they won't take you seriously. But why would I want to hide that when that has a big, profound impact on how I treat people today and how I look at life today? Mm-hmm. I don't want to hide from that. You know what I mean? I never have, and I never will. And if somebody wants to use that against me, then that's all you got, bro. I'll tell you that. You know, I'm not, that's it.
That's the other thing is you talk about everything. Nobody's ever, there's no rock someone could turn over and find anything on you. You're like, yeah, I've talked about that plenty.
Right.
I just like to take the stigma off of it, because I genuinely don't think that people having substance abuse issues is something to be ashamed of, like at all. And like, I think it's weird if a person hasn't.
And if you're willing to talk about it and be real, you're not controllable. You're not afraid of losing your reputation because you haven't constructed a false reputation. You've been open and honest and a connective human. Therefore, your cards are on the table. Therefore, you have nothing to lose.
I had never thought about it like that. That people you constructed a false version of yourself if there's something a person can learn that would damage your reputation. I never even thought about it like that, but that's 100% right. That's
case in point, let's pretend Kash Patel actually has a drinking problem. He could lose a lot because he's constructed a false reputation of being something other than what he is. Mm. But if he was honest with who and how he is, one, he'd have a much better chance of getting help. And two, he'd have nothing to lose. He wouldn't be controllable.
Speaking of that, if Erica Kirk wasn't trying to play this part, and then all of a sudden, all the shit that she said that she doesn't do happens to be the complete opposite.
Super
it's like
weird.
That
such
is
weird decisions to try to play those cards when she was such a public figure before. It's like,
yeah,
what's the purpose of lying about that stuff?
Literally on reality TV shows. and auditions for it's like
Drinking and partying.
This isn't 1976 where there's no like evidence. Like no, like there's a digital trail of you. Like
You were Miss Arizona. People were all like, people remember who you were dating. Like, why are you pretending you never had a boyfriend? That's so weird.
So strange. Yeah.
Saying she was never dating in New York City. She was on a dating reality show in New York City during that time.
Or no political interest. And then I don't know if you knew this, JP. I found that she ran for political precinct committeeman in Arizona 9 months before she married Charlie Kirk.
Well, say that one more time.
She ran as the precinct committeeman in Maricopa County in 2020, August 4th. And it was a qualified write-in ballot where she actually had to show her ID and verify that. And she got one vote. I think it was her vote. It's just so strange. You know what I mean? Like, what was the purpose of that? You know?
Here, let me share my screen real quick. This is my skeleton, dude. Of course.
It seems like they've been dating forever.
I've been with Jeff for 3.5 years.
Is that you?
4 years.
Wait.
Tuesday, May 26th.
I've been offered a wedding with Gabi.
Yeah, we got married on a reality show. What's up?
Oh,
now
you
you can't
me.
use this shit against me.
Dang it. I was
I
going
look
to
like
use
such an idiot.
I was going to use that against you because I've had that. I just didn't know you showed it. So now I've got to find
now
it.
I took all the air out of it. No one can use my embarrassing, idiotic reality show against me.
You got married on the reality show itself?
We've never talked about this before.
You mentioned me the show, and you mentioned that the ex-boyfriend, and I thought the proposal was on the show, but I didn't know.
No, it's like we're getting married in 7 days. You can either go through with it or not. And yeah, we were just talking about this. And then they contacted her ex-boyfriend, wanted him to show up and go, I'm in love with you without telling me. And he's like, and he called, he's like, I need to talk to Jesse. And that's how I met him. And she was like, dude, they want me to do this thing. Is it all right? I'm like, and he's like, they want to pay me. I'm like, fucking do it, dude. And then I fake beat him up.
That's funny, bro.
So
Man.
stupid.
Man, that's
hilarious. Yeah. We all got a dark past, man. Right-leaning person here, anti-Israel, and not a lunatic leftist or a neo-Schnazi. I don't know if I can say that word or not on live just to make sure. Well, I just said it, unfortunately. All right. Well, thanks for giving your opinion in the super chat. Jeannie. Hey, what's up, Jeannie? Good to see you. $10. JP, my hubby is a huge fan of yours, but still stands with Trump. How do I help change his mind?
Oh, quick thought. And Jeannie, thank you. I appreciate it. My advice would be don't try to change his mind. Like,
Exactly.
good luck with that. There's only one person that can change his mind. Love him for who he is, all his faults, and hopefully he loves you for who you are and all your faults. And, you know, at best, you have conversations like, oh, here's what Trump did. What do you think? Cool. Here's what I think. And love him. Accept him for who he is rather than rejecting him for what he thinks. That's my best marriage advice when we're living in a time of division.
Yeah, it's easy to have family. Like, there's a lot of fallouts all over this country. People not talking to each other, people at work getting into fights. Like, there's a reason why they say don't talk about religion and politics at work or in family dinners and stuff. There's no good that's going to come out of it because we all don't agree on all the same things. And a lot of times, man, it can feel brutal. You can feel like your significant other is like betraying you with somebody else's perspectives. It's such a weird way to go about things. And yeah, JP, like you said, man, you can't change someone's mind. You know what I mean? It's going to have to be revealed over time. And people change their minds down the road. You never know.
I got like 8. I got my kids are coming in. I have to put my 2 young daughters to bed or else they won't go to bed. they're coming in. They're all, you almost done? Are you almost done? Are you almost done?
We're almost done. All right. Well done, guys. I would love to see more of this lineup. You guys killed it. Respect. Thank you, Zero.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to do more of this soon. Danks, totally love your stuff. JP, been watching you since you were a beanpole. Jesse, you and Gabs are awesome. Good job, guys. This is a great live. Thank you. Appreciate you. Cassandra Catholican, Jay, Jesse, He told me to email you a few days ago. Email sent Saturday, 7 p.m. Please check your inbox. Spam. Christ is risen. Christ
Okay,
is
I'll try. My inbox is
Man, you got a lot of people trying to get a hold of you.
chaos now. Because I like, you know, when I was coming up, I made myself super available, and I wish I could still. It's just there's a certain volume that makes it very challenging. You know what I mean?
I mean, I can help set up an AI agent to go through all your stuff and respond to people.
Will it listen to me on my lives and go, he said this, and this is what he said to do, and then find it, and then like be all idiot. This is what idiot. That's what
Probably
I
we
need.
could all, you know, bro. I'm the GOAT, bro. We can do
Yeah.
anything. So, what are your thoughts on Mark Dice? Is he far out there or based? Don't know who that is. Do you guys?
I don't know either.
No idea. Might be a plug for Mark Dice.
If it is, that's smart. Good job, dude.
Come in. Yeah, I've seen that before. It's actually a good move. If who's Mark Dice? Everyone goes looks at the channel. All right.
That's
yeah, it's a good one, right? Jesna Long became a member. Thank you. Welcome. Kirkland again. JP, please do lives. You'd be a hoot. We'd pay money. Golden heart, golden heart.
I love Hoot, dude. I love Hoot.
Thanks for the super chat. Stacy says, Jesse, Blake Bednar's just made a post at today's Candace show and video. What is actually up with this dude in all seriousness?
Hey, Danks can tell you. Danks can tell you.
I'm going to just... Blake, personally, I think he has a strategy. Whatever it is that he's doing, what he keeps doing is he keeps closing his accounts. But the thing is, I think it's a strategy because every time he does it, people talk about him and nobody knew who he was like before. And then all of a sudden he had this fight with John Goodman, and then he closed his accounts and went offline for weeks or months and then came back on, and then he does it again and over. And now look, everyone's talking about, not everyone, but a lot of people, what's up with Blake? Why is this guy? And he airs Candace's laundry, their conversation he serendipitously recorded. He's doing these shock factor. A lot. JP mentioned this early in the show about people doing things just to get views. I personally think that's what it is. But also, I've seen sides of him that are a little unstable. But you know, we have a relationship. I don't think that there's any malicious intent behind him. When I talk to Blake, it seems that he has a good heart.
Guy.
I don't think
he's like a bad guy.
No,
but, you know, he not very professional when it comes to like setting things up, following through, and you know, whatever.
But to be clear, I've never had an issue with Blake. We've always been friendly, except for the time that he like blocked me randomly on Twitter, and I texted him like, "Yo, bro, what is this? I didn't do anything to you." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot I blocked you." Like, what? Fuck is that, bro? Other than that, I'm cool, you know. So yeah, I think he's just goofy. Jamie Severe. So I'm 100% a Jesse's girl.
Oh,
but
damn.
JP, you're
what's
awesome.
up, Jamie?
I didn't even realize you were so amazing until late. Keep going.
Right on, Jesse's girl.
Yeah.
You got yourself a little fangirl here. You three are sure handsome. Dylan.
That's been the point. That's
Thank you,
the
Dylan.
true statement.
Thank
That's
you,
been what this is
Dylan.
about.
Hey, that's my deep dark secret is I'm not actually this handsome. Gabrielle puts makeup on me before I get on camera.
Hey. But hey, I appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Thank you guys.
73 super chats and
wait, one
great
more.
Conversation.
There's one more.
Oh, we have another one?
Yeah.
Let's go. What do we
I think
got?
referencing Mark Dice.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Haha, not a plug. I've been watching him for many years. He's huge.
I know who he is once I looked it up. Yeah, he's got a lot of followers.
That none of you know who he is. On God, not a plug. It's okay. You didn't have to pay to verify, but I appreciate Mark Dice. And your strategy did work because I just looked him up. But cool, man. All good. Hey, any last words from you guys to the world?
That's it, dude. Thank you guys. And JP, thanks. Super fun, dude. We'll do this again for sure.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank y'all, all y'all who have watched, whether you've watched a minute or almost 3 hours of this. My closing words would be, we've discussed a lot in the external world that's got corruption all around it. And I think that's important to do. However, my reminder to humanity, including myself, because I need to hear it, is pay attention in your close personal life. That's what matters most, your surroundings. And if you're living in America, there's a really good chance that you've got a ratio of at least 90% blessings compared to 10% challenges. If not, it'll be close to it. So when you pay attention to the Iran war, Israel corruption, Trump's doing this, Epstein files that, Charlie Kirk, corruption there. The world can look like it has way more curses in it than it does blessings. Of course, there's challenges. Of course, there's curses. But don't be fooled into giving the quality of your life away and the potency of you as a person. Don't give it away by living in a state of fear because you're convinced the world is nothing but a bunch of curses. The reality is the reality that you see, smell, hear, taste, feel, and interact with on a daily basis. And there's going to be way more blessings than there are curses. Pay attention to that because that's what actually empowers us and fuels us.
Yep.
Great. Well said. I did run a poll at the beginning of the show up until this is, do you think that Izzy is a real owns America? 94%, almost 400 videos. So, I just wanted to at least honor the poll. One last super chat. Have a good night, everyone. You're all awesome. Thank you, Draco.
Thank you.
I will say, I want to say something to everyone who stayed with us today. You could have scrolled past. You could have picked the easier content, maybe more interesting, perhaps something like the Real Housewives. I don't know. But you chose 3 independent voices with no script, just sitting here with no corporate wheel on the conversation. And I appreciate you. And honestly, the people in power, we want them exhausted. And I personally, I just think that the younger generation, you have been inheriting something broken. And if there's something that I can do, and I'm sure the same for the other 2, something that we can do to at least try to start working towards a fix, that's at least what I'm trying to do here and spread truth through receipts and facts over the narratives that we hear. So look, all I'm here is for truth. And to JP, Jesse, thank you for showing up today and proving that independent media is not dead. We're not just content creators. We are witnesses of the future, past and present, and we're witnessing it all together. So thanks for joining, and thanks for being here today.
Thanks, guys.
Amen.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Y'all. Love you.
Thanks, guys. Love you all. Peace.